good morning to you. This is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso on S3, and we're kicking it off with a brand new month, but also with some very, very sad news. Jeremy Mansfield, a legend, a radio presenter, and all-round entertainer, has sadly passed away yesterday morning at the age of 59 years old. He announced on Facebook that he has been diagnosed with liver cancer after beating leukemia 13 years prior. Now, we certainly send our condolences to the family of Jeremy Mansfield, and just to honor him, we want to play you this.
You know what brave is? Brave is the people who wake up in the morning and they don't have a job, and they don't have a reason to get out of bed. But they do, and they try. That's brave.
Well, he certainly has a very strong legacy that will live forth, and our condolences to him, his family. Well, today is also the 1st of November, so today's show, we're going to put the spotlight on men's health, particularly with attention to cancer. We have a panel of experts here today. We have the CEO of Men's Foundation SA, Garen Grisel, cancer advocate Salome Meyer, as well as prostate cancer patient Darren Robertson. They are all going to be part of our panel. And of course, we have that WhatsApp line available to you. Our number is 063 408 8863. But let's say good morning to the rest of the team. Hey, G-Man. Hey, Ryle. How's it going?
What's up, Zoe? What's up, Nzanzi?
not sporting our mows just yet, but it's coming. Just stay tuned throughout this month. You might see something spectacular emerge on these lips. Normally, we are quite light about going into Movember, obviously being underpinned by the loss of an absolute icon within the industry. I think the notion of men's health, and not just physical health, but obviously mental health being a major focus at the moment, has a completely different relevance for everybody this morning. So we're certainly sending our love to not only Jeremy's family, but the broader family of friends and colleagues that worked alongside him for decades. We are sending you so much love and positive energy right now, and it's an absolute loss that I don't think the industry will ever really recover from. At all.
I don't think you can replace those shoes. It's an absolute huge legacy that he's leaving behind, but at the same time, someone that inspired and spoke, like we heard earlier, about so many incredible messages that we could all resonate with, and he got us, man. He really did.
And he showed up every day, and we are showing up in his legacy, and we are going to do what we can to drive the message throughout this month. It's all about men's health, so please, if you've got any perspective to share, especially if you've gone for a prostate exam, let's demystify it, get that stigma out the window. 063 408 8863. If you've got anything to chat about regarding men's health, we are going to raise a glass or a little pack to you this morning, because we're men and we need to look after each other, okay? And that's what Movember is all about. So drink up, charge up, and let's get this show going. Let's give you some of those major talking points with the news.
Thank you, Graham. Well, let's start off with national headlines. President Cyril Ramaphosa has appointed Mr. Imtiaz Faisal as Inspector General of Intelligence for the period of 5 years with effect from today. The Inspector General monitors and reviews the operations of the intelligence services, including the State Security Agency, the Defense Intelligence Division of the SANDF, and the Crime Intelligence Division of SAPS. Faisal's appointment is in continuation of the attention Ramaphosa is giving to strengthen the capability of the state. Faisal studied at Pretoria University, UNISA and UWC, and is a member of the SA Institute of Chartered Accountants. Staying with our local news, the Minister of Basic Education, Angie Motshekga, says the 2022 matric group is particularly resilient because they withstood the COVID-19 restrictions. She says this group suffered the most, but also received much support from teachers. She visited the Nelmapius High School in Mamelodi near Pretoria to wish the learners good luck with their final exams. The matric examinations started yesterday, with the first English paper being written nationwide. The department says practical exams were completed without any incidents last week. Moving to news abroad, satellite imagery shows that fires on Africa's highest mountain Mount Kilimanjaro are still raging despite extensive efforts to bring them under control since the initial fire started on the 21st of October near one of the most popular climbing routes. Another fire has also broken out on the eastern side of the mountain near Mawenzi Peak. More than 500 people, including firefighters, national park staff, tour guides and civilians, have been battling to quell the flames. But Tanzania's government says a prolonged drought and strong winds are some of the reasons for this. And staying with news abroad, police in the Indian state of Gujarat have arrested 9 people in connection with the collapse of a pedestrian bridge that claimed the lives of at least 141 people. 4 of those detained are employees of a firm contracted to maintain the bridge in the town of Morbi. Hundreds were on the structure when it gave way, sending people screaming for help into the river below in the dark. Many children, women and elderly folks were among the deceased. The 140-year-old suspension bridge had been reopened only last week after being repaired. Bringing it back home, tributes and messages of condolences are pouring in following the passing of the much-loved TV and radio personality Jeremy Mansfield yesterday morning. He was 59 and had a long battle with cancer. In a Facebook post on the 5th of August, Mansfield revealed that his cancer, which was at stage 4, was terminal and subject to palliative care. His close friends and former colleague, Samantha Cohen, said he passed peacefully just before dawn at home, surrounded by family, friends and boundless love. Mansfield won fame and the hearts of thousands of South Africans with his shows on Radio 702, Highveld Stereo and Hot 91.9, and was, among many other things, presenters of the SABC2 TV program A Word or Two. At the time of his death, he hosted the YouTube show Mansfield Today. Cohen said right to the end they were reading him fans' messages and he was so happy to hear them all. Every single one, she says. Now, his family is devastated and asking for privacy at this time, and we certainly send our condolences. Well, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Let's take a first look at your sport this Tuesday morning.
Let's kick it off with rugby this morning. And Director of Rugby, Rassie Erasmus, and Springbok head coach, Jacques Nienaber, have delayed the call-up of Springbok wings, Zubu Nkosi, and flanker Marco van Staden. That's until the results of medical scans are available following rib injuries suffered by the pair in their United Rugby Championship campaign. So Nkosi and van Staden were named in Nienaber's 35-man Springbok squad for that outgoing tour against Ireland, France, Italy, and of course England. They were scheduled to depart for Dublin on Sunday night. However, they were forced to remain in South Africa for scans and medical assessments to determine the extent of their injuries. Then on to cricket. Wow. Devalt Brevis broke multiple records on his way to 162 runs of 57 balls. Do the math in your head. He helped the Titans secure a 41-run victory over the Knights in their CSA T20 challenge. The 19-year-old Brevis smashed 13 fours and 13 sixes on his way to the highest ever individual score in domestic T20 cricket history. Well done, young man. I wonder if we can still fly him overseas. The opening batsman also recorded the fastest ever domestic T20 century after reaching his in just 35 balls. His was also named the 5th fastest T20 century of all time and the 3rd highest score in the shortest form of the game. That is how you make your mark. Now, unfortunately not able to make his mark at the biggest footballing showpiece, Juventus midfielder Paul Pogba will miss France's World Cup defence in Qatar as he needs more time to recover from a knee operation. The 29-year-old has not played for the Serie A side this season since rejoining from Manchester United in the summer. He suffered a knee injury in July, then initially opted not to have surgery in a bid to be fit for the tournament. Pogba last played for his country in a 5-0 win over Bafana back in March. France's first World Cup match is up against Australia. That's on the 22nd of November. News for the Davis Cup. It will now become a part of the ATP Tour calendar as of next year under a groundbreaking deal signed on Monday between the governing body of men's tennis, the International Tennis Federation, and tournament promoters Cosmos. Now, the move comes after the ATP Cup, a joint venture between the Tennis Australia Federation and the ATP, was but put to bed last week with the announcement of a mixed-sex $15 million event featuring teams from 18 nations that'll kick off in 2023's season. That's a great step forward, especially for the minnow sides in the field. But that's where we leave our sport for now. Let's get our first gander at the weather this morning. Raul's got the latest.
Thank you so much, Gia. It's time, of course, to take a look at the weather and report on all things when it comes to weather news. And the SA Weather Service has warned of severe disruptive rain leading to floods, damage of property and danger to livestock for today in the eastern parts and central parts of the Free State, the western parts of the northwest and the northeastern parts of the Northern Cape. Now, a warning of high winds resulting in difficulty in navigation at sea for small vessels is expected between Azefontein and Betty's Bay. On top of this, extremely high fire danger conditions are expected over the Matsikama and Overstrand municipalities of the Western Cape. Now, meanwhile, residents of the Masipumalele informal settlement near Fish Hoek in the Cape Town metro are busy with cleanup work after about 100 dwellings were destroyed in a fire yesterday morning. Now, one person died in the fire, which was fanned by strong winds, and some 70 firefighters from various fire stations worked to extinguish the blaze. Now, residents say they now urgently need materials to rebuild their homes. Well, from damaging weather conditions, we take a look, and our first look, at those sunrise views sent in by you. And first up this morning, we have Jason Sebas, all the way from Dalportuap, who showcased this beam of light radiating through the clouds. And what a bright tone of yellow to start the day. I absolutely love it. Chiamo, coming through from Germanston, shared this magical shot of a bold sunrise with shades blazing up the sky. I mean, look at that, like an electric painting with a beautiful silhouette in the foreground. I absolutely love it. Next up, we've got Suzette Kuhn, who captured an incredible view from the sun reflecting over the ocean to bright tangerine hues all the way in Jeffreys Bay. Oh, just magnificent. No one on the beach, you have it all to yourself. What a way to start the day indeed. Caro Dawson coming through next and snapping this holiday field view out in Umdloti Beach. I mean, look at that greenery with the subtle hues in the sky. Just an absolutely perfect view. Every time I see a palm tree in these pictures, it just makes me feel like I'm on a holiday somewhere. Absolutely love it. And last up, we've got Nikki Taylor, one of our own, who snapped this shot before heading to the studio. And this one showing off graceful sunrise hues brightening up the sky. There's so many tones of purple and yellow in this, and it looks like somewhat of a painting in the sky. I absolutely love it. And for you, Mzansi, I absolutely love these pictures you're sending in. They are honestly like professional shots, and I am loving it. Keep sending those pictures in, and if you have a video through, that's 063-408-8863. For now, though, it's time to take a look at the temperatures across the country. And starting off in Polokwane, you can expect some rain, 14 years low up to a high of 20 degrees. Umbombela sees rain continue with a low of 15 and a high of 18 degrees. Pretoria, rain and some thunder expected from 12 all the way up to 21, and Johannesburg, much the same conditions, 12 all the way up to 21 degrees. Moving over to Mahikeng, where the rain does not stop, it continues. 15 is low up to a high of 24. Klerksdorp, 16 up to 23 with some rain. Kimberley, much the same with the rain and thunder, 17 moving up to 25, as well as Bloemfontein, 13 is low up to a high of 23 with rain and thunder showers expected in your side of town. Over to the Bay now, in Richards Bay specifically, 16 being low up to a high of 19 degrees. Pietermaritzburg sees the day starting at 12 up to 17 with some rain carrying on. Durban, much the same, 18 all the way up to 19 degrees. Mthatha, 10 is your low up to a high of 18 degrees Celsius, and rain expected all the way through in that side of the world. Moving over to East London now, where the rain does continue, 14 being low up to a high of 19 degrees. Cradock sees the day starting at 11 up to 27. Mbeya sees the day starting at 15 up to 21. Sunny skies expected, and much the same for George, 13 being low up to a high of 19 degrees Celsius. Over in the Mother City now, where the sunny skies continue from 15 all the way up to 27. Worcester sees the day starting at 12 up to 30. Sutherland, a chilly start of 10 up to 25. And Uppington, definitely taking the cake here from 18, moving up to the highest temperature of the day at 35 degrees Celsius. Magic temperatures all the right way around. And again, thank you for sending those images through. We absolutely loved it. For now, though, let's see if we can help Zoe out with a look for the day.
Yes, please. Listening to those temperatures, I think it's safe to say that summer is here, the warm weather. And of course, since today is Tuesday, I need your help to choose between two summer staples. So for look one, we've got this stretch cotton short, which is really, really cool. In fact, we're going to start off with this really cool stretch bodysuit. Now, what's amazing about these shirts is you can simply tie it at the bottom and it gives you that smooth finish. You don't have to worry about a shirt untucking, but it's got these cute little frills, and we will be pairing it with this fun print short. So this is option one. Then moving over to option two is this strappy square neck camisole crafted from a breathable viscose, and we'll be pairing it with the same ruffled waist cotton shorts, but just in a different print. So let me know, which one do you think I should be wearing for today? Option one, we're going for the blue, or option two, we're going for the white top? You let me know. I love a pop of color, but hey, it's not up to me, it's up to you. So go and vote for your choice. Head on over to Expresso's social media pages and vote for your favorite look. And don't forget to include that hashtag Styled by Woolies.
I've been vibing, yeah. Me and my folks all good, that sun is shining. Ay, chillin' with my feet kicked up like I ain't trying. Yeah. This is what I want on summer, yeah. Gangs all here, let's run it, yeah. This is what I want on summer, yeah. Gangs all here, let's run it, yeah. Vibes right here, 100, yeah.
Only you can make my day. We got you covered. 24-hour long wear. New skincare and ingredients. Better skin by the day. Diverse shades. Transfer resistant and waterproof. For all skin. For every life. New Color Stay long wear makeup. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. There's a reason why the gents are sitting together today. It is a Health Tuesday officially, but let's get into some rather sobering numbers. Did you know that worldwide there are 1.4 million cases of prostate cancer? That was in 2020, and that number has only increased since then.
Yeah, now in fact, prostate cancer is set to become the most prevalent cancer in South Africa by next year, with an estimated increase of 140% by 2030. Those are crazy numbers, G.
Absolutely terrifying. And here to tell us more about this topic is Garen Gazelle, CEO of the Men's Foundation, Salome Meyer from the Cancer Alliance, and Darren Robertson, who is currently battling prostate cancer. Thank you so much for being here, Darren. Thank you so much for being brave enough to be here. We really do appreciate all of your presence, this early in the morning especially. I know it's doctor. Thank you so much.
Look, let's get straight into it because there's so much to discuss this morning. Salome, maybe I can chat to you just to establish things and establish exactly what we're talking about. Obviously, prostate cancer is amongst this discussion this morning, but what exactly is prostate cancer?
Yeah.
So prostate cancer is a cancer that particularly, yes, it's only men that get it. It is very much linked to hormones. But also, one need to actually look at what is your genetic background. So, and I think that is quite important, that we actually need to educate our men and our boys from a very early age that you need to know your background in terms of your family history, but apart from that, you actually need to learn about the signs and symptoms of prostate cancer so that you can become aware. And that health-seeking behavior is something that we particularly need to install in our boys from a very young age, and that's fathers and mothers that have to do that.
Yeah, we're all part of the same ecosystem. It's amazing I use that term all the time now, but we're not alone in this, and I hope you don't feel alone in this, especially today. This is your tribe for today. I suppose ultimately, because it must feel quite strange talking about cancer with numbers and days dedicated to it and months dedicated to it when you have such a personal, deep connection to this. So first of all, how are you?
Absolutely. I'm pretty good at the moment. The cancer journey it's like a roller coaster ride. Yeah. So it's an emotional roller coaster ride. You have your ups, you have your downs. But for the most part, I'd say right now I'm in a pretty good space. Yeah, a couple of months ago, maybe not so much. But yeah.
How did that land for you?
So I was initially diagnosed in 2018. I went for my vitality health assessment, and my GP at the time actually wanted to check my PSA levels, which is your prostate-specific antigen.
Okay.
I was way too young, according to all the literature, and I asked if she was crazy. Yeah, and we backwards and forwards a bit, and eventually we checked, and my PSA was elevated. Wasn't too bad. Yeah, and long story short, eventually it was diagnosed that I had stage 3 Gleason index 8, which is quite aggressive prostate cancer with perineal, capsular, and lymphatic invasion at the time. So I then had a radical prostatectomy, which is a robotic surgery to have my prostate removed, which comes with its own set of side effects, if you will, and lifestyle changes. And then I was clear for probably about 3.5 years. And then my PSA started inching up, which should never happen because you don't have a prostate anymore. And then it got confirmed that I was in a relapse situation. And I've just literally finished radiation therapy. I'm undergoing hormone therapy. So it's been a journey. It's been a ride. Yeah, it's been a ride.
Man, yeah.
Hey, man, it's never easy, but it's great to see you out here on the couch, obviously, and obviously having this conversation. I think just raising this awareness already is encouraging, I think, for a lot of youngsters, a lot of guys out there. And speaking of, Garen, you've got something incredible going on. You've got the Men's Foundation, right? You're doing some brilliant work, but exactly what is it that you guys are doing? Maybe we can educate Mzansi, because I'm sure this will help a lot of gents out there.
Absolutely. So the Men's Foundation was established initially under the Movember campaign in 2015, and it's important to note that obviously Movember is no longer running a dedicated campaign in South Africa since last year. So the funds that are raised aren't being spent in South Africa, but the men's health journey and the purpose for us to start this conversation about this narrative, this important topic, we still need to continue the work that we're doing. We look at the statistics, we look at men's mental health, how many suicides we're suffering with per day. We look at prostate cancer, we look at men suffering in the space of being, abusers and perpetrators of gender-based violence. There's a need for us to start addressing men. So this is the work that we do as the Men's Foundation. We work with the Cancer Alliance to advocate for cost-effective treatment. Salome might be able to cover and talk about the prostate cancer policy that's been in development with the National Department of Health that we've been a part of. And also we work on a global level, advocating with the WHO to prioritize men's health, because men's health hasn't been prioritized. So also on a ground level, we've got these programs and to support men, not only from an awareness and education point of view, but also to get access to treatment and also ensuring that we get men to start participating and getting that early diagnosis if necessary.
I love that keyword there, participating, be actively engaged. And I think I would imagine that so many of the problems and the solutions often don't seem to match, and you need to tackle it from that holistic point of view. So I love that approach. I think the bottom line here is that there is an opportunity for us to learn more about the signs, the symptoms, what we can do to be proactive, and of course walk that journey. So thank you once again for all of you for being here. We're going to sit down with this amazing panel a few more times this morning, and we'd love to get your perspective if you can weigh in on the conversation. 063 408 8863. We'd love to hear from you.
Oh, well, listen, one way of preventing illness, and we keep saying this, is to keep moving. Now, stretching is one of those things that we know we should do after a cycle, but most of us, we don't do it. We rather prefer to recline in a very comfortable chair and get super duper comfortable. But here to take us through stretching and also making sure our core is strong, our feet is strong, everything is ready for the mobility that you need to get onto a bike, we have some exercises prepared by Bashir Muzaiji, a cycling captain, and he's here to be our captain today to show us how to best prepare us holistically, not just post-race, but also when it comes to the fueling. Bashir, when it comes to cycling, obviously you are in your kit, you look pro, you are pro. How important is your nutrition part?
All right, let me first start off breathing. I think the first thing that something we neglect quite a bit is breathing. So I have a very fancy app on my watch. In the morning, I do about a 2 to 3 minute breathing exercise, and it just allows me to clear my mind and prepare myself and reduce anxiety. Anxiety is one of the killers of the sport.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, let's go through one of these breathing exercises, if you don't mind.
So while I do a few buttons on the watch, it actually guides me through it.
Okay.
So it's about a 2-minute thing, but basically it is...
We'll do the TV version.
Yeah, so basically it's just letting all your air out, in, breathe through your nose and your mouth simultaneously, in such a way that you can't hear yourself breathing. So, very light. In, keep about for 3 seconds, and blow all of it out very lightly. In, keep it. And you do that for about 2 minutes.
Okay, okay.
3 minutes, and that just reduces the anxiety. Second thing I like to do is touch the toes.
Okay.
So slowly, legs slightly apart.
Great stretch to do also when you...
And just slowly, if you can't, you just hang your body over as far as you can and just keep it there, keep it there, keep it there. What that does is it stretches the back muscle, your hamstrings, and your calves just a bit, in case there's a bit of tautness that's built over time.
Oh, there we go.
We keep that for I keep for 30 seconds or so, just 30 seconds, not to cause any tension or any difficulty.
Okay. So you shouldn't feel pain.
You shouldn't feel pain, yes. Should be easy.
Okay.
Sometimes I do it twice. If I feel that I'm a bit tight, I'll go back down for the second session.
Okay.
Right, now the real work starts.
Okay.
I think for me, one of the most inclusive exercise is the squat.
Okay.
So what we do is relax. I'll put my hands in front of you and just dip down.
Dip down.
Slowly and up.
And up. Squeeze the glutes.
Yep. Go down and up. And we do that about 6 or 7 times, just to get the blood flowing. A second more of a difficult thing that I do is a lunge.
A lunge, okay. So just a normal lunge.
Normal lunge.
You prefer to do with some weights if you want to add it up?
For cycling, we don't like bulking up.
Okay.
It's all about keeping yourself lean and not developing too much muscle.
Okay, okay.
Because it just adds weight. So it's simple.
Ooh.
Yep.
There we go.
And the left and right. And we do that maybe about 10 steps each.
Oh, fantastic. Now, we did touch on nutrition. How important is nutrition? Because I found that when I attempted doing training for the cycle tour, I didn't eat properly. Yes. And after a practice race, I can't call it a race, but after a practice cycle, I would be so depleted and have zero energy for the rest of the day. All
right. So we keep about 1 hour worth of energy in our system, in our liver. So it takes 1 hour to deplete it. It's extremely important to eat as you go along, to replenish your carbs as you go along. As you replenish your carbs, your muscles start receiving that glycogen, and you can go longer. That goes with water as well. We need to hydrate as well, because in order to break down the carbs, we need water. We do. To aid that digestion and absorption. And also, something that's very, very neglected, if we do not eat sufficiently on the bike, our post-recovery is stunted. Okay. So what tends to happen, we see that cyclists, after a ride, they just kaput.
That's me. That's been me. Well, Bashir, thank you so much for joining us today. Of course,
been a
this is not
pleasure.
the end. We're going to be chatting to you a little bit later because there's a great initiative.
Yes.
Also, a big cycle coming up for you now at the end of November. But of course, there you have it. Just a fun, easy workout that you can do at home as well, whether you're a cyclist or not.
Thank you.
The number of times you're going to hit snooze. How many excuses you're going to make. And the amount of obstacles that are going to stand in your way.
0.
That's also the amount of sugar in the new Energade Zero sports drink. With zero compromise on taste and performance. Step up your game with new Energade Zero. It's what you put in.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, Mzansi, welcome back. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and it's a Health Tuesday on another level. We are having an incredible conversation, and listen to these stats alone. In South Africa, prostate cancer affects 1 in 6 men, but perhaps more alarming is the fact that black African men have a 60% higher risk of developing prostate cancer. Now, we're going to be carrying on our discussion. We've got a men's health and prostate cancer topic this morning, and we've got a panel of exclusive guests. We've got Garen Gasal in the building, CEO of the Men's Foundation, Salome Meyer and Darren Robertson, who is also currently battling prostate cancer. And earlier on, we were having an incredible conversation about this, establishing what everything is about, but we're going to carry on and dive deeper into what it all means.
There are so many terrifying numbers and statistics going around right now. Maybe, Salome, you can put us in the picture. An increase of 140% over the last 2 years feels incredible. 1 in 6 is a very sobering. Why, within the black male population, is the number as high as it is, and why is the number on the increase? Did COVID play a role in that in terms of not seeking help? What is manifesting in these rather terrifying numbers?
So I think one needs to particularly say that prostate cancer is very high amongst black men. I mean, you find that globally. So that is a very fact that we actually need to realize. And in South Africa, the same happens.
Because that means you need heightened checks, you need heightened awareness in that space. Yeah.
Absolutely, and what we really need to install is that health-seeking behavior. Yeah. When we've spoken about it earlier, men don't actually go for health checkups because it's not what they want to do. They didn't grow up that way. And, you know, in a way, we also need to say men want to protect their families and therefore, you know, let the family go and do what they have to do. I'll be the last...
I'll isolate myself.
I will be the last one to go. And in fact, that's actually not what we should do. So the COVID, yes, COVID has played a major role in terms of men not going for their checkups. But I think if we also have to look at what has happened in the breast cancer space. So over the last 20 years, we've all gone pink for breast cancer.
Awareness.
You know, pink tongue and awareness is, you know. So I think that's what we need to start doing for prostate cancer is that we need to, with the increased awareness, you will have increased screening and therefore the numbers will go up. So it's not necessarily a matter of that, yes, the numbers are increasing, but the numbers are increasing with the men coming forward for these screenings. And what is very important is that the earlier you are screened and diagnosed, the better your chances for survival.
Absolutely.
And here's the best example.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Look, building on what you're saying now, and I think it's so pertinent when you mention how gents don't want to go to the doctor. They don't want to necessarily deal with the issues because we're strong. We can eat concrete and deal with it. You know what I mean? That's the narrative we were brought up with. Darren, for you, man, I mean, we're talking about something you mentioned earlier where you said, why am I doing this screening? I'm so young. Let's just try it anyway. And it's something that I hear sounding more common and common of late. It's like younger people are becoming more affected. Was this even something you were aware of before you went to the doctor?
Was it for a prostate?
Yeah, was it a conversation you were having with friends?
No, not at all. I was like under the impression it's something you do in your 50s or like mid to late 50s maybe. Like, no, I thought she was crazy. Like, I thought she was absolutely nuts. However, what my urologist at the time said to me is that if I'd come 18 months later, it would have been too late. They would have said to me, you know, go and enjoy the time with your family and there's nothing we can do for you. So that's frightening.
And thinking about it in retrospect, I mean, if you had mates that were talking about this, being more conscious about the conversation, you think it would have helped?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just to create awareness, I've been doing quite a bit of talking and talking to my clients. I'm a financial planner by profession, but talking to my clients, talking to friends, and a lot of guys have subsequently gone and gotten tested. They've gone to my urologist, which has been quite good for him. But they've gone and they've got checked out, and that's something that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't have spoken. But men don't talk. Men are terrible at talking. They don't, you know, they'll stand at the bar and they'll talk about cricket, rugby, who won Miss South Africa, but they won't talk about prostate cancer or, you know, testicular cancer or colon cancer or petrol, diesel, you know, and those types of things. So
no, I think what you're doing exactly by taking the edge off and just bringing it down to a base level is exactly how we need to have this conversation. But it's a two-way flow. You said something earlier about the fact that it's not necessarily just about asking for help, but being receptive for that. And we need those structures around us, gents, to be asking, are you okay? Have you done this check? Where are you? Does your son know how to do this check and talk about this? Do you have the language? That's what this promotion is all about in our health segment today, and you can be a part of this voice. 063-408-8863. Please drop us a voice note. We'd love to hear from you.
Oh, thank you, G-Man. Well, listen, on the topic of health, this next recipe is a lactose-free dish, and it is packed full of flavor.
Made with love by Clover.
We'll make the most of the legumes, the grains, and of course pulses sitting pretty in your storage jars and turn them into delectable, delicious salads like our caramelized zucchini and lentil salad that's going to be topped with a clover no-lac creamy dressing. We have Dr. Michele in studio today to show us exactly how to make this delicious dish, because food is something you are super passionate about as well.
Yes. Well, food is health. I mean, I think that's my mantra.
Yeah.
And this salad kind of personifies that. You know, there's so many healthy things in front of me that I just feel good already.
And a salad does not have to be boring. A salad does not have to be lettuce, tomato, cucumber.
No, not at all. You know, and there's a lot of hidden things in salad sometimes, but you can still keep it healthy and keep it extremely exciting. So with this salad, there's a nice hot component. We have little zucchini rounds that we cut. Got a little pan on the heat here. We're going to saute them off. You can actually eat them raw, but when they're caramelized, they're just so much better.
Oh, definitely.
So a little bit of olive oil, or any oil that you're using, and into the pan those go in there. You want to use a pan that's big enough to fit like a nice flat layer of zucchini. That way you get a nice caramelization on all of them.
And it's evenly caramelized, some pieces.
Absolutely.
There's nothing worse when some people...
Some of them are raw, some of them are cooked. Never want that. Okay, don't do what I'm doing. Use a spatula. Okay, cool. And then into the bowl, we're just going to mix everything together. While I'm doing that, I'm going to ask you to mix the dressing. I think that's the highlight of the dish. This is not really going to be the same.
Okay.
So you have the dairy snack, and it's about a cup of that.
Okay, so I'm adding our no-lac. I was trying to be all fancy, but let's do it this way. So 1 cup of our clover no-lac, and this is, of course, lactose-free, plain, low-fat dairy snack. And it is, of course, if you are lactose intolerant, symptoms which include, you know, perhaps an upset stomach, some stomach cramps, bloating, nausea after consuming dairy, that possibly means you could be lactose intolerant. And with the Clover No-Lac lactose-free range of milk and dairy snack, it really enables you to enjoy dairy again in versatile and delicious ways, like making this delicious creamy salad. So I've got about a cup of our No-Lac in here.
Cool. And then you're going to add, so the ingredients or the flavor profiles for that is going to be like a tablespoon of chopped coriander, a little bit of dill, and then we always add an acidity, lemon juice, and then dried oregano gives a really nice earthiness, and it goes really nice with the lentils. While you're mixing that up, I'm just going to show what's happening on this side. So we have about a cup of cooked lentils. You can take them out of a tin, you can buy them raw and just cook them off in some water. That goes into the bowl. And then celery. So a lot of people also don't know, you can actually use the stalks of celery. It's a nice, hearty, like sort of leafy green, and it goes really nice with a creamy dressing.
See, I'm quite terrible. I get rid of that.
A lot of people throw it away. You can actually cook it off as well, a little bit, saute it down. It makes like a nice wilted green, so that goes in. And then we have olives. We've just pitted them and halved them. Obviously, always put them before you put them in a salad. And then pomegranates. These are beautiful. They add such a nice textural component. So that goes in the bowl. And then these zucchinis are not entirely ready yet, but it is television, so you know. They usually take about 5 to 10 minutes, slowly in a pan. While they're sauteing, I always season in the pan, so you get a little bit of seasoning into that. I'm just going to add them to the salad for the sake of time. Usually they're a little bit browner, a little bit more caramelized.
We add them to our salad, and it's also quite nice that there is a hot component, but this is a salad you can eat freshly made, like you've just done, or cold. You can serve it cold.
Cool. And you mix that up. You always season. A little bit of seasoning into the salad. So you season the cooking zucchinis, you season the salad as well. And then in with flaked almonds. Like nice slivered almonds. They're such a nice textural component. Really good, healthy fats. Really just bringing the dish into a nice new spectrum.
And then we will finish it off with our no-lac dairy snack dressing that we've made. Well, if you want to get your hands on this delicious recipe that Michele is showing us how to make, please visit our website. That's expressoshow.com. Search for the zucchini and lentil salad. And if you're going to be making it yourself, do share some pictures. We always love seeing you recreate these delicious recipes.
Made with love by Clover.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we continue our focus on men's health this November. Now, raising awareness about cancer and early detection dramatically increases the odds of fully recovering from cancers such as prostate cancer and can save lives. We have living proof. Our panel, Darren Gazelle, CEO of the Men's Foundation, Salome Meyer, and Darren Robertson, who is currently battling prostate cancer, are still with us as we wrap up our conversation. Darren, I'm sorry that I'm kind of oversimplifying your entire life in a sentence every time
No, not at all.
But I think it's really important that people do hear you speak in this way. So thank you so much for doing that. We've had Anonymous weigh in with a voice note that I'm hoping, Salome, you've got a very emphatic answer for, but let's hear what Anonymous had to say.
Morning. I have a question, but my question is not specifically about prostate cancer. Okay. So I have this small, I don't know, can I call it a small ball inside my scrotum? So I have two normal balls, but then I have another small ball inside my scrotum. I just want to know what could be the reason for that. What could be the reason for me to have that small ball inside my scrotum?
Oh, well, thank you so much for sharing, Anonymous. I mean, every alarm bell in my head is going off right now. We are not doctors. I'm going to prefix this right now, but Salome, I think you're probably best positioned to be able to answer.
I think, first of all, well done for spotting that there's something not normal.
Not right, yeah.
And that is the key. You live with your body. You need to know what is the normal and what is not normal. And when you spot something that is not normal, you need to take yourself to a healthcare professional, whether that be your GP, whether that be your local clinic. Take yourself to the doctor, because that's the person you need to consult.
And be clear about what has happened and your anxieties. There's a little voice that goes off with good reason. So, Anonymous, please go and speak to a doctor today, bottom line. It's so difficult to look at this because I'm realizing this is such a dynamic situation, and I was saying earlier that often the solution and the problem don't seem to match when it comes to men's health. So maybe let's start with that, asking for help. What is the first step that men should be doing in looking after ourselves, seeing as we've got this platform to drive that awareness? What is the message?
It's quite simply to start the conversation. You know, we need to destigmatize men's health. You know, whether it be prostate cancer, men's mental health, depression, suicide prevention, testicular cancer. You know, on the one hand, we need to start being more aware, you know, challenging our fears of facing our mortality. You know, we often refer to toxic masculinity, you know, and we kind of throw out masculinity and the fact that being masculine, we need to be strong, we need to be powerful, and we often fear challenging that masculinity if we consider that if something is not okay. But once we start to normalize the conversation, you know, we talk about men's mental health, and it's one of those topics that come up when we lose somebody prominent. You know, we lost Ricky Rick, we lost Patrick Schreier this year.
Mansfield.
You know, and we don't have those conversations. And as Salome alluded to earlier, we need to have those conversations with our boys. You know, so normalizing this conversation about our health-seeking behaviors to remove the stigmas. You know, our dads never really spoke about their health issues, and this is where we're kind of going through this emotional evolution as men, especially in the age that we're in, because we've needed to check ourselves to go, hold on a second, these are real issues. You know, yes, on the one hand, men haven't prioritized their health issues, and likewise, we haven't had the support from a governmental and a global organization's perspective.
Societal, yeah.
So it's prioritizing men's health, but the most important thing for us to do that is to start that conversation. You know, you need to create that safe environment where someone can be open to being able to discuss it. You know, we talk about men being able to express themselves and why don't they express themselves, but if we need to create that safe environment, and if you cannot help with the answers, at least suggest to go and seek the help from the platforms and the doctors like we just did in the previous call.
Just start talking. Just very quickly, Darren, I'm going to ask you to save the world now in one sentence, my friend, seeing as you're beating this beast. And you are doing it, which is amazing. So please just keep that energy going. But what's got you through to this point? What do you have to say to someone in your position?
So I think it carries on from what Garen was saying earlier. The support base of my family, my immediate family, my wife, my little 4-year-old daughter, Rebecca, my mom, my sisters, and then your immediate circle of friends. I think that's probably the biggest thing. And then healthcare professionals. I think I've got a really good medical team. I speak to a cancer counsellor. Who's almost like a life coach type scenario, which she really adds value. So I think all those different perspectives and the different support really plays a role. But what I do want to say further to what Garen was saying earlier is that a lot of people rely on men to put their hands up and go, I need help. Yeah. Whereas we should rather be checking in with our friends, our family, and saying, are you okay? You know, people all rely on somebody to put their hand up and say, why didn't they put their hand up? Whereas I think we should rather be checking in and going, you lost your job. Oh, you're right. How are you? Do you need anything? Versus just reactive and relying on you to put your hand up. I think that's where we seriously misguide, and I think that's where the narrative really needs to change.
Well, that's what's changing right now. So thank you so much. I did warn you I was a bit of a cry risk. We managed to make it through that one. Your story is inspirational, yes, but there is so much practical advice within that. So thank you so much to all of you, for doing what you do every day. We really do appreciate it. And right now, I think it's not lost on us how painful this experience is, not only for those going through this cancer battle, but for those families and structures around them. So we are sending you nothing but love right now.
Nothing but love, of course. I'm loving that conversation, getting so caught up in it. But in terms of carrying on with the topic of health, let's turn our attention to our healthcare professionals. Now, Pharmacy of the Week, it's a short feature acknowledging our incredible pharmacists. Now, this is our way to say thank you to these brave healthcare workers, and it's proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram, OTC sponsors of Brave. So let's take a look at this week's Pharmacy of the Week. It's Maximed Pharmacy, all the way out in Standerton.
Our pharmacies are on the front line of healthcare. This is Pharmacy of the Week.
Well, I chose to serve my community. I'm just passionate about people, and so are the rest of the staff. And we feel that we can do better than the current health services that are available to the people in the community. And therefore, that's what we do. Self-care is a human right. And I think pharmacists are ideally placed because they are easily accessible. You don't have to make appointments. You don't have to pay a fee to see them. And therefore, it is easy for the public to access them. A pharmacist-initiated therapy is usually when the customer has got a need for medication. He's got a certain problem, and you walk in and you can have a discussion about your health. You can tell the patient what he might or might not need, and you can make an informed decision. It's not as if you tell him, take this. It's a two-way conversation. Well, to me, brave means to what we face in terms of imminent dangers and threats. And the healthcare system in South Africa is under threat. It's not an easy industry to be in, and we face it every single day. To me, the Brave initiative from Adcock is very supportive. They've been very supportive with us through the COVID period. Their stock was easily available, the information was easily available, and they're a great business partner for Maximed Pharmacy.
Pharmacy of the Week, proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram, OTC, sponsors of Brave. Inspiring communities, one pharmacy at a time.
Good times is what life is all about. But sometimes heartburn, indigestion, acid reflux and UTIs can really put a dampener on our days. This summer, make sure you have citrus soda as your good health companion, relieving you of all heartburn, indigestion and UTI symptoms. Let's get back to feeling good. Citrus soda brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
Oh, absolutely love seeing it. These are like our modern day heroes. And I just want to say thank you to all our brave pharmacists, the pillars of our community. And why? Because, well, clearly we appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Defeat your mucus monster. Mucofizz. Loosen mucus and phlegm for clearer airways. Brought to you by Pharmadynamics.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. Thank you so much for being a part of what really has been a hugely inspirational show already. But of course, let's lighten the mood just a little bit. Being a Tuesday, it's a Tuesday. We needed your help, or at least Zozo needed your help to choose between some amazing outfit additions this morning to complete her look. So we had, look one was the stretch cotton bodysuit, look two, the strappy square neck camisole, and of course we're going to find out what your choice was. So Gaynor saying option one, Zoe will rock the blue top. Nice. Lynn Trutter saying option one, even though Zoe will look beautiful in anything, of course she will. Arlene saying option one is my favorite color is blue. Now you all have a blessed day and stay safe. You too, Arlene, love that. Shirley saying option one for her. Aisha, option two, styled by Woolies. Shan saying morning breakfast tea, morning Shan, option one for Zoe. It's a pretty neck and neck, but I think I'm starting to see one option put their head out. Berylyn saying both will look great on Zoe, but I'll definitely go for option one. Sunday agreeing, and Arlene, option one is you look good in the color blue. It suits you, Zoe. I have a feeling we have a winner, but let's do the grand reveal. Dun, dun, dun. Wow.
I went for the blue, and that's all thanks to you. Oh, I rhyme.
Well done. Looks great. How do you feel?
Very cool. I mean, this is comfy. These shorts are so easy and flattering, and I love the bold print. And then this little top is also, I mean, I'm someone, I love a little bit of a sleeve, so this for me is perfect. And I mean, this is fun and flirty.
It's fun, flirty, but it's also quite chic. It's quite cute. So for something that's dressed down, it's dressed up as well. Absolutely love it. You guys have got fantastic fashion sense. But yes, so we can wear anything. So we're lucky there, but absolutely beautiful. If you like this look, go and get it for yourself. You can shop it in-store, online, or on the amazing Woolies app. Time now to get back into those news headlines.
Me and my folks all good, that sun is shining. Tell them my feet kicked up like I ain't trying. This is what I want to summer, yeah. Gangs all here, let's run it, yeah. This is what I want to summer, yeah. Gangs all here, let's run it, yeah. Vibes right here, 100, yeah.
Yes, it's just gone on the hour. It's 7 o'clock and it's time to kick off official duties once again. And starting with national news fronts, international ratings agency Moody's has changed Eskom's outlook to positive. Now, the first time it has done so in 15 years. Now, this after Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana's announced last week that the government would take a portion of Eskom's debt onto its balance sheet. Now, Godongwana did not specify in his medium-term budget how much of the Eskom's debt the government would take. Now, Treasury is in the process of creating a debt relief program for the struggling state-owned power utility. Well, sticking to our national news, President Cyril Ramaphosa has appointed Mr. Imtiaz Faisal as Inspector General of Intelligence for a period of 5 years with effect from today. Now, the Inspector General monitors and reviews the operations of intelligence services, including the State Security Agency, the Defense Intelligence Division of the SANDF, and the Crime Intelligence Division of the SAPS. Now, Faisal's appointment is a continuation of the attention Ramaphosa is giving to strengthening the capability of the state. Now, Faisal studied at Pretoria University, UNISA, and UWC, and is a member of the SA Institute of Chartered Accountants. Well, from our national news headlines, we head over to international news. And Brazil has taken a turn to the left as former President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva beat far-right incumbent Jair Bolsonaro in the presidential election, and after a divisive campaign which saw the two bitter rivals on opposite sides of the political spectrum go head-to-head, Lula da Silva won 50.9% of the votes. Now, it was sufficient to defeat Jair Bolsonaro, and it was a stunning comeback for a politician who could not run in the last presidential election in 2018 because he was in jail and banned from standing for office. Well, next up in international news, satellite imagery shows the fires at Africa's highest peak, Mount Kilimanjaro, are still raging despite extensive efforts to bring them under control since the initial fire started on the 21st of October near one of the most popular climbing routes. Now, another fire has also broken out on the eastern side of the mountain near Mawenzi Peak, and more than 500 people, including firefighters, national park staff, tour guides, and civilians, have been battling to quell the flames. But Tanzania's government says a prolonged drought and strong winds are some of the reasons for this. Well, next up in our headlines, something very positive indeed. Volunteers from the aid organization Gift of the Givers this past weekend courageously descended on the Robert Mongalisa Sobukwe Hospital in Kimberley in the Northern Cape to help clear a backlog of some 500 operations. Now, head of the hospital's general surgery division, Dr. Ahmed Bayat, who initiated the catch-up surgery project, said some patients had been waiting for months to undergo these surgeries. Now, he decided to turn to Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman of the Gift of the Givers, and obviously this is also what Bayat had to say, and quoted, a few minutes after putting it on the Gift of the Givers volunteers group, there was a massive response from GPs, physicians, surgeons, anaesthetists, and nurses, you name it, unquote. Now, the result was that specialized teams worked for long hours over the weekend to perform no less than 72 procedures within 3 days. Now, a most grateful operating theatre manager, Dr. Esme Olivia, said this weekend's marathon surgery session could possibly be followed up by another later this month, and that is to address the backlog. Well, that's all the headlines I have for you this morning. It's time to take a look at the traffic, and here's Zoe with the latest.
Thank you, Ral. And we start off with traffic in Brackenfell, Cape Town. There's some congestion on the R300 North at that N1 inbound ramp. Expect delays. And in Pietermaritzburg in KwaZulu-Natal, there's a stationary vehicle on the N3 eastbound. Now, it's after Peter Brown Drive. That left lane is closed. Please approach with caution. And then in Assagai in KZN, there's been an accident on the N3 eastbound to Durban before Key Ridge. Please approach with caution. And that's your traffic for now. Let's take another look at your weather. And some encouraging environmental news is that Down Under, Australia is taking a further step towards reshaping its throwaway society today. This as a range of single-use plastic, including straws, cutlery and micro beads and shampoo, will be banned today in its most populous state, New South Wales, in a bid to reduce waste. Other items included in the ban are single-use plastic drink stirrers and cotton buds, as well as containers for takeaway food. This means that the country now has single-use plastics bans in over half of its states and territories. Although the pace of legislative reform may sound impressive, Australia's mission to tame its plastic waste population still has a long way to go. One of the major barriers is soft plastics, which is very difficult to recycle. A global comparison of plastic waste management recently placed Australia 7th among 25 nations for its overall efforts to control plastic population, behind several European countries, as well as Japan, the UK, and the US. Well, moving on from environmental news to your sunrise views, let's kick it off with Naomi Abidi. Now, this is a blazing photo of the sun rising over the ocean. Photo was taken in Durban. Then we have this one from Lesedi from Mpumalanga, who captured this bright and bold pink clouds while enjoying a morning walk. Arusha from Centurions shared her view, showing off the fluffy clouds with bursts of light coming through. And last up, Nancy showing off her photography skills with the sun peeking through as look at that shell that she's holding up into the sun. Absolutely beautiful. Well, that's where we leave your morning sunrise views, and if you have some that you'd love to share with us, please do so on our WhatsApp line. That number is 063 408 8863. Let's get into your temperatures for today. We're starting off in Polokwane, some rain with a low of 14, a high of 20. Mbombela 15, 18. Pretoria 12, 21. If you're in Johannesburg, 12 your low, 21 your high. Mahikeng 15, 24. Klerksdorp 16, 23. If you're in Kimberley, a low of 17 and a high of 25 can be expected. Bloemfontein 13, 23. Rainy conditions in Richards Bay, 16 with a high of 19. If you're in Pietermaritzburg, 12 your low, 17 your high. Durban 18, reaching a high of 19 with some rain. Rainy conditions in Mthatha, 10's your low, 18 your high. East London 14 with a high of 19 and some rain. Partly cloudy conditions in Cradock, 11's your low, 27 your high. Gqeberha, your low is 15, your high 21. George 13, reaching a high of 19. Cape Town, a beautiful day, a low of 15, a high of 27. Worcester 12 with a high of 30. Sutherland 10, reaching a high of 25. And Uppington, brace yourself for a hot day. Your low is 18, your high 35 degrees Celsius. Well, that's your weather for now. We'll have a final update shortly after 8.
Oh man, I'm having an amazing time catching up with an old man. In fact, one of the coolest cats I've ever met in Cape Town, and he's doing something that I think all gents need to tap into. Never underestimate the power of the fade. In Cape Town, we have got a local saying, as die fade in us. Now, you know the rest, I think. Now it's time for us to introduce someone who is a cut above the rest, undoubtedly. And he'll make sure that you leave the barbershop with the freshest fade and, of course, promises to be the keeper of all your secrets, because that's why we rely on our barbers. We are joined by business owner and barber, or owner of Barber the Mason, Mason the Barber, Jason, which is a bit of a tongue twister. He'll be taking us through the top 5 Movember grooming tips, and we'll be chatting to him about his particular barber shop that I know has been like a life mission to get to this point. So Jason, congratulations, first of all, to you.
Thank you so much.
I met you in my journey in Cape Town, and I could see even back then, as you were moving from chair to chair and trying to find your place and then going through this crazy COVID journey, there always was this vision. I always felt like you had this goal of where you saw yourself. Are you there yet? Have you taken those first few steps? Where are you in your journey of Mason the Barber?
Oh, Graham, it's definitely been quite the journey. But where do we start? Let's start at the beginning. I started from nothing, essentially. But definitely my mom was the inspiration. My mom's a hairdresser. Oh, cool. And I've kind of just followed in that footsteps. Trying not to get emotional. I told myself I wasn't going to do this.
Hey, listen, I'm a bigger cry risk than you, bro. Today especially, man.
It is a special time. But I tap into that. And I'm just going to own it. But yeah, so my mom's been the biggest inspiration for that. And she's watching at home now.
What's your mom's name?
Bernice.
Bernice, we love you.
Hi, Mom.
We love you so much.
So starting from studies and then working in my first shop, being dismissed first 2 times, not just once. And from that's what it actually inspired me to have my own space. I now, in 2022, have my own space. And I've got a junior, I've got an apprentice, and we're starting from the bottom up again. And yeah, now we're here.
Because that's the beauty of your industry. It's all mentor-driven. There is an opportunity for you to change lives in so many different ways because you work in the most intimate space with gents.
100%.
What is the crux here? Yes, you've got to be able to rock a fade, obviously, but something else happens when a gent sits down in your chair. What is that experience like for you? What goes through your mind when a guy walks in?
So what I really enjoy doing is educating the guy sitting in my chair, mostly from whether it's to do with his hair, to do with his beard, and help him understand what he can and what he can't do with his hair. I like to make my clients feel comfortable, so we do an hour service, and that allows us to really just enjoy, relax, and soak up everything, what has to be said, and what can be learned as well.
What do you do if you get told those secrets? Because it's quite there's something disarming about being in that chair all super relaxed.
So I started saying to my clients that this is the chair of vulnerability and comfortability. Because they're either going to fall asleep after sitting in the chair or they're actually going to start telling me their deepest, darkest secrets that they don't actually tell anyone else.
And he is a custodian of these things. Buddy, you're doing something over the month of November just to reinforce this notion of men's health. What are you guys getting up to?
So I've teamed up with Melville and Moon and Just Like Papa. And they are, together, we are just kind of raising awareness with men's health, mental health, suicide and prostate cancer. And all we want to do is just treat the guys, do some shaves, rock some mustaches again, make it cool because people think it's a little bit weird, but we think it's cool. And whatever we do on the day, or the service that I do, Just Like Papa and Mavamu, they're going to match what I do on the day, and they're going to send that forward to raise awareness.
Fantastic. This is the most important part, having the conversation, at least starting that. So, brother, thank you so much. I'm not rocking the mo just yet, but I need some grooming tips myself. So, Jason ain't going anywhere. And don't forget to visit Mason the Barber on 176 on Main Road in Claremont, Cape Town. It's an awesome little spot. You're going to book an appointment this November at Mason via booksy.com. And stay tuned. Jason's going to be taking me through some beard tips for November and giving me some ideas on what possible style I could rock if I went the Mo route, so stick around.
New Revlon Color Stay Matte Like Crayon. Play it up. Bold matte color goes on as easy as a crayon. Feels barely there. Super soft, 12 rocket poppin' shades. New Revlon Color Stay Matte Like Crayon. Wanna play?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
When I was diagnosed diagnosed with breast cancer, I had the mindfulness to have illness insurance. I was able to pay all the extra unexpected costs, and then with the help of my financial advisor, I was able to invest the rest of my lump sum payouts.
Thank you for rejoining a vitally important conversation. Yes, we are going to tackle some pretty hard truths, but we have to delve into this. And whether you have a history of severe illness in your family or not, these catastrophes can strike at the most inopportune times and have devastating effects. But with the right insurance in place, you can focus more on your health and recovery and less on the costs and admin. And here to take us through the benefits of having the right illness insurance is our good friend Kinsani Baloy, product expert for retail protection solutions at Old Mutual. I'm sure your title gets longer every time you come back. I just have to add another feather in the cap. I absolutely love it. I can joke about it, but your job is one of the most important because you are informing us of something that is so vital. On the one side of this coin, unfortunately the dark half, I would say, are the costs we don't expect, we don't want to think about, understandably, because it generally comes part and parcel with a very dark period of our lives. What are some of those unexpected costs that people might not be expecting or considering when it comes to severe illness?
So oftentimes when someone's diagnosed with a severe illness, they often think about the costs that are related to treating the illness itself,
so right? That initial operation or that initial hit, and you think, okay, cool, I'm done, sorted.
Absolutely. But there's so much more to it because we need to protect our lifestyles. Yeah. We need to protect our ability to see to our expenses because there's a good chance that you may be at home needing to recover from your illness and not actually being able to work and earn an income in that period of time. But your financial responsibilities don't fall away. And that is exactly what illness insurance has been designed to do. It's been designed to help you and your family continue to see to your day-to-day expenses, things like your children's education, things like your groceries or whatever bills that you have to see during that time. But more to that, it's also designed to help you afford the cost of your care. And these are all the hidden costs, like your rehabilitation, needing, physiotherapy, or whatever those costs look like that do impact you in that very difficult time.
Yeah, speaking from personal experience, I mean, I've been on this kind of journey back to health. The rehab has dwarfed the costs of the initial operation, and it was spinal surgery. So I thought, wow, okay, I'm in the clear now. But I think what hit me far harder was you don't lose it once. Every month that you're not working, you lose it again and again and again when you don't have something coming back in. So I understand this on the base level. So let's balance the books here. What does illness insurance cost?
So the cost of illness insurance will vary from person to person. And this is because we look at your individual circumstances when we assess your application for illness insurance. Brilliant. But more to that, it's also the fact that we offer a very customizable solution, which means that you can configure it in a way that suits your very specific needs as well as your budget, because affordability is important. And the cost of illness insurance will be different depending on what your needs are.
I love the fact that it is modular and you can build it around your needs, your lifestyle, where you're wanting to go as well. And you can reassess and adapt as you go, which is a big take home for me. That being said, of all of the wonderful benefits, what do you think are the most key? What are those key benefits within Old Mutual's illness insurance offering, if you will, within that basket?
So it's very difficult to pinpoint a couple, but we do offer a number of great benefits and features, most of which we've actually unpacked over the previous weeks. But one that we haven't really touched on is what we call the cancer enhancer. So when we look at our 2021 claim statistics, we see that a lot of our claims were attributed to cancer. And this was the same in previous years. So it became very important for us to build what we call the cancer enhancer into our illness insurance product. And so what that does is that it boosts the payout that the customer will receive by 25% if their quality of life is severely impacted by the treatment of cancer and they are unable to perform their day-to-day activities such as caring for themselves.
What would you say is the benefit of having an accredited financial advisor in your corner? Why speak to a person in this space, do you think?
Our financial advisors go through rigorous training and accreditation processes, and they are well trained and experienced to ask you the right questions to make sure that they place the right financial solution in front of you, because we know how important it is having a financial solution such as illness insurance that will be there in your greatest time of need. For anyone who's listening and maybe does not have a financial advisor, please don't hesitate to reach out to one of Old Mutual's financial advisors on 0860 60 60 60 or visit our website on allmutual.co.za/illness.
So glad I've got you in my corner, and we're going to continue to spread the word and hopefully empower people through this journey. But I love the fact that we have kind of taken something that can seem quite dark and turned it into a positive. These are tools that we can use to build a better future for ourselves. It's not just thinking about the darkness, but also about the light. So thank you so much for being that light for us. We really do appreciate it. And I love the fact that here it's all about building a long-term sustainable plan. That's why it's modular. That's why it's accessible and will match where you are right now in your life path. So treating an illness is, yes, expensive, but it can be manageable with the right insurance. And if you want to find out more about Old Mutual's illness insurance, speak to your financial advisor. And if you don't have one, well, then get one. You can easily speak to one of the amazing advisors online to 0860 60 60 60. And you can also visit oldmutual.co.za. Illness, that's /illness. There is someone waiting to take your call.
When I was diagnosed with cancer at 32, thankfully I had illness insurance from Old Mutual. I was able to pay all the extra unexpected costs, and then, with the help of my financial advisor, I was able to invest the rest of my lump sum payout. I didn't expect this to happen to me, but the insurance has been a great relief.
Getting that November swag on. Oh, hey, what's up? Oh, just caught me in my November swag, and November is, of course, an annual event involving the growing of moustaches during the month of November. Now, to raise awareness for men's health issues such as mental health disorders, cancer, and, of course, suicide. Now, we're back with Mason the barber, and he's about to tackle G's beard. So let's get G in here, my man. I know he's been dying to get some of this action.
I just need a little TLC, man. Just give it a love.
So we're going to put the legend to the test, of course. I mean, he doesn't need to be tested as it is, but I'm dying to see what he's going to be doing for you. Obviously, you are looking for something just on the beard. We're doing a November vibe.
No, look, I'm not going to shave the schnorr just yet, but yeah, the beard hasn't had some TLC for a while, so a little bit of a touch-up would be great.
All right. And for you, my man, is this something that you're constantly doing, touching up beards, especially with us leading into November? Is it going to be a hot request?
I think so, but I think doing just this, we're hoping to inspire some more people to let loose and just enjoy it and go with it and not worry too much about how they're going to look.
All right, you're not too worried. I'm going to give you the handout here just because your mic is covered and I want
me to sing.
That's a full-on performance, Archer. So, I mean, obviously, with regards to this beard and the end product, what exactly are we doing? What are we looking for?
So, particularly with what we have today, I think I'd just like to focus on just leaving it a little bit heavier just towards the bottom. It's slightly patchy, but like we can find ways on how to grow the beard and to cover up the patches so it just looks more fuller. So all I want to do is just kind of just blend in the side slightly, clean up around the lip, clean up around these areas over here and just underneath, and we just make it look sharp again.
All right, okay, so that was something I wanted to ask you about, especially when it comes to like a patchy beard. I mean, I've got some hair on my face, but I know I've also got some of the patches of hoolan going on. So I'm dying to see exactly how you kind of blend that in. Is it a matter of like working in longer hairs with shorter pieces?
So there's this always uncomfortable period where it's growing our hair, even growing our beard, that there's this in-between phase.
Yes.
That's always difficult. Like you can't get rid of it. So you either have to just endure it or just keep it short and not have it at all.
All right, well, let's get started on this man's beard because I'm dying to see this jawline come back. And watching the man already he's got that flick of the wrist. There's like that fade action going on here, looks like it.
You must brace yourself because when I rock this schnorr, okay, I'll bring the 80s back.
Oh, is it?
You don't understand. I look kind of like Tom Selleck. Like, it's a vibe, which I don't know if there's a space in the world for Tom Selleck now.
I don't know if we're ready for that, man.
But, I'm thinking with the right Hawaiian shirts. But there's something to be said, and Jason and I were joking about this earlier, but generally when I would sit in his chair, there was a reason. I had a big show. I needed to get prepped for a big week. I needed to just check out for an hour. There's something about sitting in your barber's chair that is disarming, and you can just be vulnerable. And I mean, the stuff I've told him, he hasn't ever repeated to anyone else. So I've proven that he can keep
You know what's interesting? You mentioned that, and I think when we were talking about that panel discussion earlier, that moment where gents don't really have discussions and they don't bring up those important conversations about how are you doing, what are you going through. It's weird when you think about a barber being one of those places where you actually have some of the most honest, real, and rawest conversations. Jason, I'm sure you come as somewhat of a counselor as much as you do a hairstylist and a barber amongst that, right?
Again, this is something that I've watched my mom do over the years growing up, because I literally grew up in a salon.
Okay.
And I've seen my mom counsel so many of her
friends, not even clients.
Female clients who have gone through cancer, and having to just encourage them and say, like, listen, it's going to be a tough process. You're going to go through chemo. You're going to lose your hair. Why don't we start just removing some of it, so that instead of losing this clump of hair, let's watch it go down stage by stage.
You must embrace it constantly.
So I've watched her do that, and I've implemented that in what I do with my clients. And not everybody's got cancer, but I've got young kids who are becoming young fathers and who can't tell anyone else. And there's just so many people who feel like jumping off a bridge and doing so many different things, and it's so tough. And we just step in and we help out wherever we can. Let's just have a conversation, say, hey, I don't know who else you can talk to, but you can say it here. It's a safe space, and also that's all we want to do is just create a safe space.
Oh, I love it. Well, there's definitely a safe space going on here. He's getting G'd up, and Jason's doing the things right now. So make sure you give Mason the Barber a visit on the first floor of 176 Main Road, Claremont in Cape Town. And then don't forget to book your Movember appointment at Mason the Barber via booksy.com. We're going to carry on bringing this jawline out. We'll see you in just a bit.
A bank that turns your smartphone into a point-of-sale machine.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, Mzansi, welcome back. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And what a show it's been already. The gents are definitely getting educated, having great conversations, and talking about everything health-related right now. Now, G is still busy getting G'd up, G sonified, and he's getting his cut on from Jason. He's going to look absolutely suave, so we'll catch up with him later. But for now, let's carry on with a very, very pertinent conversation. And we're chatting all things men's health-related. And one of our favorite docs is back to share more. Now, men, regardless of geography, race, or ethnicity, tend to live shorter than women and become sick or disabled earlier in life. Now, this is according to studies done internationally, so this is happening worldwide. Now, with this month being dedicated to cancer awareness around males, and in general, it is the perfect time for everyone to look at their lifestyle and evaluate their risk. Now, we've got Michele Vanzaghi, otherwise known as Dr. Be Well, apparently. He's here to share more on how we could possibly lower our risk and boost our immune system to help protect against cancer-fighting cells. Doc, it's so good having you back, man. How are you doing?
Thanks, man. Really well in yourself.
Oh, so good. You're doing incredible things online everywhere around the world that I see you. You're just sharing good vibes, positivity, and good luck. And obviously, well done on the new practice as well.
Thank you so much. It's been such a nice vessel to kind of, you know, portray my message and just share a little bit of what I've learned through my journey and through my medical career. So it's been really
man, your career, your journey, we've spoken about on the show. It's so inspiring, and just seeing what you're doing now, it's just adding to that. But look, let's talk about cancer. I mean, it's something that we're highlighting this month. And I know when it comes to screening and doing various other tasks, you can essentially almost detect it earlier, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we can do, though, instead of detecting it, but is there anything else we can do to kind of lower our risk of cancer?
So I think that's interesting. I mean, a lot of what I've been talking about has been early detection, right?
Yes.
We haven't really talked about prevention. And it's interesting trying to prevent something that's not inevitable, right? We don't know if it's going to happen to us. But I think there's a lot of measures that we can take in our lives. Health is such a broad term, you know, it's so undefined what health is. But I think probably the first place to start is looking at our diets, right? If we think about health, we probably think about exercise and diet as the first two parameters, and thereafter our spiritual and mental health sort of come into our minds. That's just how we think about it. But I think controlling your diet and understanding what you put into your body as fuel, as energy, as sort of a way of detoxifying and antioxidanting all the things that happen to us in our bodies as we age and as our telomeres shorten. You know, so I think that what I'm trying to say is that we need to be cognizant of what we're eating and how that has an effect on our health and our longevity and our risk of cancer.
Yeah, well, look, let's be more practical about this. I mean, I'm sure there are foods that can, let's say, reduce inflammation and reduce the potential of certain things. Are there any foods that we should kind of like focus on or maybe stay away from?
Yeah, so, I mean, when you think about the Mediterranean diet, which is probably in all of the studies been shown to be the most healthy diet in terms of cardiovascular risk and cancer reduction, we look at healthy fats. Everyone knows about healthy fats. There's so much information about fats, healthy fats, unhealthy fats. It becomes so complicated.
Yeah, and it's overwhelming when you're a consumer and you're like, what's a good fat? What's a bad fat? Is this LDL right? Like, I don't know. There's so much happening.
You know, it is such a complicated pathway in our bodies. But I think if you can take anything home today, omega-3, really, really important fat in terms of cancer reduction and cardiovascular health, and lowering saturated and trans fats. And Be Well has this whole range, you know, their whole mantra is that they're trying to lower saturated fats and just increase or maximize the amount of omega-3s in all of their products.
So omega-3s is something that you get from fish, right? So
yeah, correct.
Not everybody eats fish. So is essentially the option for them to get omega-3 from a product like this?
Yeah, so these are supplemented or augmented with omega-3 supplementation. So even though they're made from products that are fatty, you know, canola, olive oil, all of those things, eggs, they all have fats in them, but these are actually supplemented with additional omega-3s. So for people who don't get that from their diet, you know, fish is expensive, some people don't like fish. These are really awesome products, you know, in reduction of cancer risk.
Oh, okay, so the good fats are in there. That's what they speak about, the trending word, good fats.
Good fats.
So talking about screening and everything else, I mean, obviously this is great to know that we can fuel ourselves correctly. And something you mentioned is being cognizant and aware of how we fuel ourselves is important, and I love that. But with regards to not only the diet, we can obviously screen ourselves, right? Where exactly does screening fit into this, let's say, overall health outlook and perspective?
Yeah, so I think this, I mean, if you think about men's colon cancer, we say there's routine screening for colonoscopies. I said, with my own journey, men should be self-examining themselves on a routine basis, maybe every 2 weeks, just feeling themselves and, understanding what that process means, how to screen, and being aware of what symptoms are. So I think that this month is so nice because it just creates a general awareness about, we are young, but we're not invincible, and we are vulnerable no matter what. And we just need to take that into account and remember that. And all the guidelines are online. You can find all that information on amazing websites about, testicular cancer screening and how to do it, prostate cancer, when to visit your GP, and all of those kinds of things.
Absolutely love it, Doc. Thank you so much again for educating us and all our gents out there. Mzansi definitely appreciates it. And of course, with Be Well, they support the fight against cancer too and would like to encourage the prevention through a healthy lifestyle and a diet. Now, together with Be Well and Cancer, they have created the Smart Choice Cookbook. Now, listen to this. It's a collection of recipes that focuses on healthy cooking methods. Example, stir-frying, sautéing, steaming, the list goes on. And the ingredients that can positively influence cancer risk reduction. Now, the book covers breakfast, lunch, dinner, as well as snacks and treats, and they are all with vegetarian options too, and it can all be downloaded for free on bewellfoods.co.za. I mean, what are you waiting for? Get involved in that, and of course, otherwise, reach out to the Doc. He's got a practice open now, and he's here to serve. Thank you so much, Doc. Let's carry on with the magic.
Oh, well, listen, we can't talk about Be Well and not spend some time in the kitchen. I think the good old Doc must come and join me in the studio as we're about to show you how to make a recipe from the Be Well cookbook that Raul was just telling you about. And we are about to make some chimichurri beef kebabs. And Michele, you can come and join me in the studio. Did I pronounce that correctly? Chimichurri.
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 It's a tongue twister for some reason. It feels a bit bizarre, but this is obviously a great recipe, and it is from the Smart Choice Cookbook, which really distinguishes itself from other healthy eating cookbooks with its collection of fresh recipes that focuses on ingredients that may aid in reducing the risk of cancer. Now, I've got the beef cubes here in front of me. I see some gloves, so you're about to put me to work.
I'm about to put you to work. So chimichurri, very nice thing about it is that can double as a marinade, as a cooking vessel, and also as a sauce. You can serve it pretty much with anything.
Okay.
It's such a great thing.
We're using beef today, but this can go well with chicken. It can go well with tuna.
Absolutely, all of those things, and it's such a great marinade. It gives it that nice. It seeps so nicely into the meat, so it really is a nice thing to marinate with, and it also just makes a great topping. And when you use it as a marinade and a sauce, really, really nice.
So as a marinade, how long would you leave it on before you pop it onto the grill?
So generally we say about a minimum of 4 hours, but you can definitely leave this overnight. Some marinades you can't leave overnight because they just have too much acidity, but this you can definitely leave overnight as well. So you can make it the night before, keep the sauce in a little Tupperware, marinate overnight, and then the next day it's just easy prep.
Fantastic.
So here we have about 2 cups of coriander. It's just been rinsed and dried nicely.
And coriander is quite good as well. I know that there's quite a few people, Graham included. Coriander is one of those tastes you either love it or you hate it.
Absolutely. I think some people actually have an enzyme that makes them hate coriander. So it's a physiological hate for coriander. Okay, so let's get going. I'm going to put a little bit of this into the NutriBullet.
While you're doing that, I've salted and peppered our beef cubes, and I'm popping them onto our skewers to get them ready.
So you would have actually made this and marinated and then skewered them.
Oh, okay.
Right, so you would have had them marinated in the bowl and then put them on the skewers.
So I'm jumping the gun here.
A little bit, but it's okay, it doesn't matter. I'll show you how to make the chimichurri and then we can just show you how that looks afterwards. So a little bit of dried oregano. So always 2 nice greeneries in any chimichurri. You have to have 2 green herbs, dried, fresh, doesn't really matter. Always season. I always say season at every point. All right. Dried chili flakes. Cornerstone of a good chimichurri is to have a little bit of heat.
Oh, a little bit of heat.
That goes in there. And then we have about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I'm going to put that in. And then the Be Well olive oil, obviously, or the canola oil. It's a mixture. All the healthy fats go in here as well.
All the good fats. And of course, with pure canola cooking oil, the Be Well canola oil is locally produced. It's naturally cholesterol-free. It's also low in saturated fats, and it really is perfect for all your cooking needs. Now, their canola oil is high in omega-3s, which is good for your heart health. It promotes brain health as well as fights cancer cells. So really, I'm going crazy here with the skewering. The skewering, but
should have probably had a bit more.
There we go.
Turn this thing on.
Fantastic. give it a bit of a blur.
So when that happens, and it usually happens, all you do is you just add a little bit more liquid.
A little bit more liquid. Have you got enough little juice there? I can always grab a little
juice. You can actually add a little bit of water as well if you don't want to add too much acidity. No, but that's fine. I think we can use a little bit more oil as well.
There we go.
Cool.
These are giant skewers, but we will still marinate them.
So those would have been marinating overnight, and then you would skewer them. Top them with a little bit more olive oil and pop them into the pan.
There we go. That's what we want.
And you have this beautiful green chimichurri. You can put 2/3 of this away, put it in the fridge, store it overnight. This would have gone onto the beef cubes. You would have then put your gloves on.
And then skewered
marinated
them.
nicely.
Got a little excited there.
If we come over here, this is actually what you want. So you want your pan to be smoking hot. This is very hot, but this is actually exactly where you want to be.
Okay.
A little bit more olive oil, just so we don't stick.
There
or
we
canola
go.
oil is actually better. It's got a higher heating point and safer to cook with. And you can go on with these bad boys.
Oh, look at that. Of course, don't jump the gun like me by skewering your beef cubes before actually marinating them, but that looks incredible. So while Michele is keeping an eye on that, you can win big with Be Well. They are giving away 150,000 Rand grand prize, plus the chance to win your share of 50,000 Rand. Now simply purchase your favorite Be Well product, take a photo of yourself and your Be Well product, and send the picture to any of the Be Well social media platforms or to their WhatsApp line. Now this is a special number, so grab that pen. It's 060-582-3678, and then along with your name and contact number. There are some T's and C's that apply, and they can be found on the Be Well website. And if you want to get your hands on this delicious recipe, we've also popped it up for you on the grilled chimichurri beef kebabs. You can find it on our website, expressoshow.com. How do you prefer your beef cubes? Medium rare?
Medium rare.
Medium rare is the way to go. Well, there
Gotta
you
be
go.
medium rare.
Oh, fantastic. Beef for breakfast.
Oh, you can make my day.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. Thank you so much for keeping it locked as we now turn our focus to a group of 30 awesome cyclists who are going to soon be embarking on a roughly 550-kilometer journey from Mossel Bay to Cape Town to raise some 2 million rand for cancer and multiple sclerosis treatment. Wheel to Heal, remember that name. It's the name of the initiative, and they're looking to give hope to those afflicted with the disease and, of course, the gift of a normal future with loved ones. And Dr. Elias Parker is here to tell us a little bit more. Doc, thank you so much for joining us. She looks like she's seen some miles already, never mind the 550 kilometers that are on the way. You've assembled a group of some 30, I'm going to say brothers and sisters, wanting to do this for you, but your connection to this particular community is deeply personal. What motivated you to take this step to create Wheel to Heal?
Graham, I think this idea was actualized, when one sits back, when you've lost a loved one, you always try and emotionalize the situation in a more positive, proactive way. And one of the ways I thought was to actually put back into community in the name, in cherishing the memory of my late wife. And I think when I started cycling, I had the privilege and the good honor of meeting a fabulous group of young men, much younger than me, dare I say. And, we started cycling together, and I think out of that germinated the idea to actually do something in the field of cycling to benefit those that were afflicted with the same condition of my late wife and cancer, and hence the launch of Wheel to Heal. And I think one of the privileges that we had is that there was a state of readiness and embracement of the concept to do something for humanity, to do something to uplift those, that are as unfortunate as my late wife, to raise money for cancer. And I think initially we thought we'll do Knysna to Cape Town, but because, it was going to take more than 1 week, and I think some of the guys couldn't get leave from work.
Needs to be manageable.
Hence, we're doing it from Mossel Bay to Cape Town. The idea being to rope in as much support, and we are beseeching the community actually. Hold our hands, be part of Wheel to Heal. Wheel to Heal is a conduit. Mariam Parker is a means through which we want to channel this fund for cancer, primarily to those that are unfortunate enough not to have the process of diagnostic aids, that don't get early detection and demise thereof. Just to give you an idea, the National Cancer Registry has proven that in South Africa, for every 100,000 women, there's 23% who demise of cervical cancer, whereas the global figure is less than 15%. Now, that's a staggering amount, primarily because of no education, no awareness, and hence that translates into a higher mortality rate as well. We are here to make a difference. We are inviting each and everybody that's a viewer on this show. Join us. You'll find on our website our banking details, the website address being www.wheeltoheal.co.za. Make a volunteer contribution, or if you have a cyclist that you know that is taking part in this event, sponsor them per kilometer. 560. I have to say this, that it's the scorching times of the year where temperatures, in the Knysna area,
you're going to need the motivation.
35, 33 degrees. We are there. We are going to doing it. We are going to put in the hard yards. We are going to do it in the high temperatures. We are climbing on some days. We have a gradient to climb in excess of 1.5 kilometers.
Wow, that's like Tour de France, Alps kind of stuff.
And an average of a daily gradient of in excess of half a kilometer. We're going to do that. We are asking you, you are as part and parcel of this event.
I love
Make that contribution. Go onto our website, www.wheeltoheal.co.za.
We've got all of those details up there. You seem like the most incredible riding mate to have along. I'm sure you've got some journey, some interesting tales from your own practice as a dentist to be able to relate as well. But I love the fact that you are standing out despite your incredible losses. And I'm so sorry for the journey that has led you to this part. But you are here spreading a positive, proactive message, which is unbelievably powerful for me in the context of what we've spoken about today. So, Doctor, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for putting yourself through the heat, the hard yards, and everything else. We are going to have those details on our screen on all of our social media platforms for as long as possible. You can go and sponsor an athlete. You can go and show your support. Just a little bit will go a long way. And you can find them on wheeltoheal.co.za. Wishing the doctor and all of your incredible family cycling on behalf of those who need the support and can't speak for themselves. We say thank you so much.
Thank you, and I'm looking forward to engage our multi-million viewers of the show.
We can do it. We can. Go and donate.
Oh, well, listen, we're going to keep with that feel-good stories today. And Pieter Dirk Uys said it best, that there's no achievement until you have realized that what you have achieved is the brick that you build the wall for the future.
Oh, I absolutely love it. So the question is, what does being brave and having courage mean to this inspirational man? Well, let's find out.
Well, brave is a word that covers 1,000 things. And those 1,000 things are very rare. Because bravery means that you stand up and you have an opinion, that you work, that you dream and make that dream come true, in spite of what people say. And usually they say, don't, and you shouldn't, and you mustn't. And who do you think you are? You're brave. But I think everybody has their own bravery. I think the most important thing is not to frighten people away from trying new things that they were scared of. So brave people are actually not lonely, but very much on their own, and lead by example. And I think bravery leads by example. I think one of the bravest things that I ever witnessed was the way that Nelson Mandela embraced us. I think the most extraordinary thing is his bravery, because he sat for 30 minutes being interviewed by a woman who doesn't exist, Evita Besegno. And she interviewed Nelson Mandela. He treated her like a lady. Oh, Evita, you look so beautiful. And I think he meant it.
And then Nelson Mandela. And I remember every Tuesday I would take Nelson Mandela a lovely plate of Cook Sisters. And it was always such a thrill just to go into the office. Sometimes he was there, but he was all over the world, just talking to the world, making so much with his humor and his love for people to change everybody into people who hope for the future.
I mean, if you imagine, he came out 27 years in jail, and then he formed a government with the people who locked him up. I mean, that's not crazy, that's brave.
There is a wonderful country that lies in our grasp. How many brave people there are in South Africa, and how the hope for the future can only grow with optimism and belief in the goodness of mankind.
Hope, it's a used word. The internet fills your ear with the word hope, and nobody knows what it means because they don't hope. I think by hope, you actually say to yourself, yes, it's possible. It can happen. And 10 to 1 people will say it can't happen. But because you hope, you make it happen.
I think there should be a Hope-tober in every month. One day should be Hope-tober Day. Like every day should be Madiba Day. Like every day should be Women's Day. Like every day should be Youth Day. And I think Hope-tober is a lovely way to start.
Well, I must say, I'm very enthralled and inspired that there is a month called Hope-tober. Hope-tober. It sits well on the teeth and the mouth and the lips because it makes you smile.
So always toast yourselves, toast your jobs, toast your country with a glass that is always half full and never, never, never half empty.
And thank you, Adcock Ingram, OTC, sponsors of Brave.
Hope-tober is a month of hope, brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave, inspiring communities one pharmacy at a time.
Oh, thank you, Pieter Dirk Uys and Tannie Evita Besegno, and showing us that if you choose hope, anything is possible.
It truly is. Now, Hope-tober might have come to an end, but we should never stop spreading the hope and encouraging everyone to be brave.
Hope-tober is a month of hope, brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave, inspiring communities one pharmacy at a time.
Let underprivileged children unwrap a smile this festive season. Safripol has again partnered with the amazing Angel Network and Toy Kingdom to collect your pre-loved toys to be re-gifted this festive season to those who need it the most.
You can donate your pre-loved toys at any participating mall or Toy Kingdom, or visit safripol.com for more information. Donate from now until 30 November and again from the 26th of December to the 15th of January 2023.
Come join us in helping them unwrap a smile.
Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3. Now, our next guest visiting in studio is no stranger to our couch. She is part of our family, and I'm talking about singer, songwriter, and social media mogul, Jordan Tui. Now, she's excited to be releasing her debut single, Streams in the Desert, with an exclusive performance a little bit later on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Let's take a listen to her captivating vocals. Give Jordan an Expresso welcome, the one she deserves. I knew you were talented, but wow, that is a tough song to sing, and you've got a voice to boot. How's this music journey been for you? I mean, you've now released your first single, but since the last time you've been on the show, how has your musical career taken off for you?
Wow, it's been such a beautiful journey. And absolutely because of the show as well. Like, it's been cool to landmark different milestones. Actually, last year, it was the 22nd of November that I was here on this couch talking about a single that I was featuring on. And I had no idea that I would, go into this adventure of writing my own stuff. But since then, I've actually entered the world of podcasting and producing podcasts. And that's been a great, into just behind the scenes, the production of audio storytelling. And so I grew more confident with my writing. I was like, okay, let me just try my own thing, yeah? And then here we are. So I released last week, Friday. And the support has been insane.
Well,
beautiful.
That's incredible. Streams in the Desert is your first debut single.
Yeah.
It is incredible. I've been hearing you doing your sound check. Now, how was that writing process for you? Talk us through what is this song all about?
This song, oh wow, it came from a hard time, like a really dry season, like stuff was not happening, prayers were not being answered. A really good friend of mine got really sick and we were like, is she going to make it? And there was just a lot of uncertainty, and it was a time of asking questions, what is the point of all of this? And it felt like a desert. And so I would journal as I do, every day, and pray. And there was a scripture that, stood out for me in Psalms that spoke about, the rocks being split open and water gushing forth for the Israelites when they needed water. And there it was, my song, the concept. So I was like, okay, maybe there's hope in this, even though it looks so hopeless. So that's where the song kind of came from, that there is always a trickle of hope in the middle of sadness and pain. And my friend is completely healed, actually.
How incredible.
And she loves the song. It was released on her, we celebrated her birthday on that day, and we were just thinking about how amazing this journey has been. Stuff is not all, it's not going to be the worst, scenario you can think of. Stuff will get better. Things will get better.
And I love how you bring your faith into this, because it's very important to you. And something else you've been dabbling with, of course, you come a bit from a dancing background, your TikToks. Let's talk about how you've incorporated some TikTok moves into your performances.
Oh my gosh, dancing is my life. I started when I was 4. I started ballet. My parents put me in ballet. And then I started choreographing my own stuff since 7, getting my friends in and forcing them to be in the dances. My sister, my baby sister, is in all of them. And then, it was natural to make a dance to this, a challenge, because I love dancing still. And my dance group is here today to join me, because I also think it's the joy of music, that it's not just listening, but it's moving your body.
But it's also bringing all of your elements to life and bringing it now to screen, which we are so excited to see. Jordan is on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Don't go anywhere. She's going to perform her debut single, Streams in the Desert, for you. So stick around. We will be bringing you that performance live.
Oh, I'm so proud of you, Jordan. I can't wait for those performances. For now, though, it's time to kick off with official duties one last time and looking at national news headlines first. Now, President Cyril Ramaphosa says the national framework for the professionalization of the public service is one of the most important developments in the sector since 1994. Now, Ramaphosa states in his weekly newsletter that the aim of the framework, which was finalized and launched last week, is to create a professional, ethical, and merit-based public service, especially as state capture has done serious damage in recent years. Now, he says the implementation of the framework in all spheres of the public service is the realization of his pledge made in his State of the Nation address in February. I was thinking international headlines. International ratings agency Moody's has changed Eskom's outlook to positive. Now, this is the first time it has done so in 15 years. Now, this after Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana announced last week that the government would take a portion of Eskom's debt onto its balance sheet. Now, Godongwana did not specify in his medium-term budget how much of the Eskom's debt the government would take, and Treasury is in the process of creating a debt relief program for the struggling state-owned power utility. Well, from our national news headlines, we head over to international news. And the well-known conservationist Jerome Huguenot has been freed after he was taken hostage in Chad on Friday. And interim President Mahamat Idris Deby has announced that. And also, Huguenot, who enjoys French and Australian citizenship, manages an oryx park on behalf of a conservation group and was kidnapped by unknown individuals in the northeastern Wadi Fira province of Chad. Now, Deby announced his release on Twitter without providing any details on how it was carried out. And a quote coming through, "I am delighted with this happy ending," unquote. And this was said by him himself. And moving on and carrying on with international news, Brazil has taken a turn to the left as former President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva beat far-right incumbent Jair Bolsonaro in the presidential election. Now, after a divisive campaign which saw the two bitter rivals on opposite sides of the political spectrum go head-to-head, Lula da Silva won 50.9% of the votes. Now, it was sufficient to defeat Jair Bolsonaro, and it was a stunning comeback for a politician who could not run in the last presidential election in 2018 because he was in jail and banned from standing for office. Well, finally, in our headlines, tributes and messages of condolences are pouring in following the passing of much-loved TV personality and radio personality Jeremy Mansfield yesterday morning. Now, he was 59 and had a long battle with cancer. And in a Facebook post of 5th of August, Mansfield revealed that his cancer, which was at stage 4, was terminal and subject to palliative care. Now, his close friend and former colleague Samantha Cowan said he passed peacefully just before dawn at home, surrounded by family, friends, and boundless love. Now, Mansfield won fame and the hearts of thousands of South Africans with his shows on Radio 702, Highveld Stereo, and Hot 91.9. And he was, among many other things, a presenter of the SABC2 TV program, A Word or Two. Now, at the time of his death, he hosted the YouTube show Mansfield Today. And Cowan said right to the end they were reading him fan messages, and he was so happy to hear them all. Every single one, she said. Cowan says his family is devastated and asking for privacy at this time. Well, our condolences do go out to him and to everybody else struggling with this passing. For now, though, it's time to take a look at the rest of the headlines. And here's the sport with the G-Man.
Thank you so much, Raul. Let's start with rugby this morning. Director of Rugby, Rassie Erasmus, and our Springbok head coach, Jacques Nienaber, have now delayed the call-up of Springbok wing Sibu Nkosi and flank Marco van Staden. That's until the results of medical scans are available following rib injuries suffered by the pair in their United Rugby Championship role. So Nkosi and van Staden both named in Nienaber's 35-man Springbok squad for the outgoing tour up against Ireland, France, Italy, and England. And they were scheduled to depart for Dublin on Sunday night. However, the pair were forced to remain in South Africa for scans and medical assessments to obviously determine the extent of their injuries. So we'll certainly watch that space with hope. And we turn to cricket now. What a performance. Actually difficult to describe. Dewald Brevis broke multiple records on his way to 162 runs, off 57 balls. You try and do the maths. That helped the Titans secure a 41-run victory over the Knights in their spectacular CSA T20 challenge. So the 19-year-old Brevis smashed 13 fours and 13 sixes on his way to the highest ever individual score in domestic T20 cricket. Incredible. Well done, young man. The opening batsman also recorded the fastest ever domestic T20 century, reaching his in just 35 balls. And his was also the 5th fastest T20 century of all time and 3rd highest score in the shortest format of the game ever. Wow, just do it again, son, do it again. Now we move on to an opportunity lost for another major star. Juventus midfielder Paul Pogba will miss France's World Cup defence in Qatar as he now needs more time to recover from a knee operation. The 29-year-old has not played for the Serie A side this season since rejoining from Manchester United back in the summer, or last summer, and he suffered a knee injury in July and initially opted not to have the surgery in a bid to be fit for the tournament. Pogba last played for his country in a 5-0 win over Bafana back in March. France's first World Cup match is against Australia, and that's on the 22nd of November. Then on to tennis, a massive move forward, especially for the minnows in the tennis field. So the Davis Cup is now going to become a part of the ATP Tour calendar, and that's as of next year, under a groundbreaking deal signed yesterday between the governing body of men's tennis, the International Tennis Federation, and tournament promoters of Cosmos. So the move comes after the ATP Cup, which was a joint venture between Tennis Australia and the ATP, was but put to bed last week with the announcement of a mixed-sex $15 million event featuring teams from 18 nations. That's set to kick off on in the 2023 season. And as I said, a great move forward for the coalition around tennis. And that's where we leave our sport for this inspirational Tuesday morning. Hopefully the traffic will be as positive before we send you out to work. Zoe's got the latest.
Unfortunately, not too positive in KwaZulu-Natal, Umhlanga. There's been an accident on the N2 southbound after Mount Edgecombe interchange. Now, the middle lane is obstructed, and that is causing heavy delays. Then in Cape Town, Baden-Powell Drive, due to extreme wind conditions overnight, there is large amounts of sand across the roadway. Capricorn Circle is closed towards Mitchell's Plain. Please use an alternative route this morning. And staying in Cape Town, there's some congestion on the N2 inbound. It's on that ramp leading to Jakes Gadwal Drive. You can expect some delays. And that's where I leave your traffic this morning. Let's take a final look at your weather. And we start off with some news. The SA Weather Services have warned of severe disruptive rain leading to floods, damage of property and danger to livestock for today in the eastern parts and central parts of the Free State, the western parts of the northwest and the northeastern parts of the Northern Cape. A warning of high winds resulting in difficulty in navigation at sea for small vessels is expected between Eysterfontein and Betty's Bay. Extremely high fire danger conditions are expected over the Matsikama and Overstrand municipalities of the Western Cape. Meanwhile, residents of the Masimpumalele informal settlement near Fishhook in Cape Town Metro are busy with cleanup work after about 100 dwellings were destroyed in a fire yesterday morning. One person died in the fire, which was fanned by strong winds. Some 70 firefighters from various fire stations worked to extinguish the blaze. Residents say they now urgently need materials to rebuild their homes. And that's where I leave your news this morning. Let's take a final look at those weather updates and those beautiful sunrise views that you share. Isa out in East London captured this photo. Look at the mountain overlooking the spectacular views from greenery to fluffy clouds. Absolutely incredible. Then Eunice sent this beam of light between the leaves from Rand Park Ridge while enjoying a morning cup of coffee. Nkosana from Randfontein snapped this photo of the clear blue skies from her garden before heading out to start her day. And last but not least, we have this video sent in from Jessie showing off the whales playing in the water in Preston Beach, and this was snapped on Tuesday morning. Absolutely incredible. Well, if you would love to share a beautiful video or photo, do so on our WhatsApp line 063 408 8863. Let's get into your temperatures. I'm going to start off in Polokwane. Your low is 14, your high 20. Mbombela 15-18, Pretoria 12-21. Johannesburg 12-21, Mahikeng 15-24. Klerksdorp 16-23, Kimberley 17 with a high of 25. If you're in Bloemfontein, 13. Richards Bay 16, reaching a high of 19. Pietermaritzburg 12-19, Durban 18 with a high of 19. Mthatha 10-18, East London 14 with a high of 19. Cradock 11-27, Kabeja 15-21, George a low of 13, a high of 19. Cape Town, your low is 15, your high 27. Worcester 12, reaching a high of 30. Sutherland 10-25, and Uppington a low of 18, a high of 35 degrees Celsius. And that's where I leave your weather on your Feel Good Breakfast show.
Okay, just to do it quickly with it, just do the thing.
There we go.
Yeah, there's a reason why we are wearing these bright blue gloves, and it's got absolutely nothing to do with COVID. We've been focusing on health, obviously, all morning as we bring awareness this November month, and I think conversations like how to recognize someone having a stroke, massively important, how important time is in getting medical attention, and what is key to staying financially free when someone in your family is living with a stroke. We've already looked at this entire ecosystem, but we want to look at it in a much more personal and practical way now, yeah?
We're definitely going to be doing that now. Of course, on top of this afternoon Express, we'll be talking about strokes this evening from 6 p.m. tonight, and that's on S3. So be sure to tune in. It's going to be something that educates you and also gives you a perspective as to why exactly we are wearing these.
It's going to be humbling, yeah. So why we are wearing them is to try to understand how it feels to have 100% feeling and control in one hand gone. So imagine, and especially for someone who lives a physical life like you, with that mind-body connection, it's probably one of the strongest I've ever seen in a human being. Imagine losing one hemisphere.
Just losing anything on my body was so, like, I can't wrap my head around that because I am so connected to it, and it's so important to me as well. So having a connection is of
So I'm teaching my son about righty and lefty now.
Yeah.
So righty's out of the game, but lefty's going to write your name now. Do that.
This is weird. Already, I don't even have the confidence to, like, start this, but let's just try and see if I can show the camera what's happening here as well. Okay. Wow.
I should actually be holding this for you because you can't use your right hand.
Oh, yeah, I don't have that at all. Yeah, you're right. Excuse the pun.
Are you drawing a dog? That's
weird,
man.
man.
Hey,
it's
weird.
Weird. I don't have the control. I don't have that confidence in my movements anymore. And it's almost like I'm lacking that, like, just assertiveness. It's a strange feeling.
Now imagine having to approach your entire life like that. So please, just humble yourself just a little bit and understand what a stroke sufferer goes through in their recovery. Just take one hemisphere, one hand out of the equation. And I love the fact that we are talking about this and getting practical. And this is sponsored by Liberty, who are in with, I think, all in with South Africans at the moment to ensure that you don't face your health issues alone. I'm going to give it a try.
Good luck.
Whenever you need me, I'll be there. Whenever you call me, I'll be around. Only you can make my day.
Sensodyne, repair, and protect with deep repair. The science is pretty amazing. It really goes deep and repairs tooth sensitivity. The science is there. It's going to improve their quality of life in a big way. This is the first thing I recommend.
Tropica is back with the best of the best in the All-Star Season 10 of Tropica Island of Treasure. All the stars are competing to win big, and so can you. Simply buy a Tropica promo pack, follow the details and enter for your chance to win your share of thousands of smooth prizes. The more you buy, the more chances you stand to win. Catch the All-Star Season of Tropica Island of Treasure this Saturday evening at 6:30 only on S3. Tropica, nothing smoother.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Ah, welcome back. It is with some trepidation that we welcome you back because we are the worst dancers on set. But it's time to get up and moving. We've got our featured artist. Even just saying that, our featured artist.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan Cruz. Yeah. How cool is that, first of all?
Yes, honored. I'm honored.
You're amazing is what you are, okay? And obviously Streams in the Desert, just this amazing kind of coming of age. Just incredible. So well done. But of course, you really want to reinforce the fact that I'm so old and disconnected. So I just want you to see this quickly, just to set the scene, because Ryle and I are going to attempt something in just a moment. But first, take a look at this. Yes, we are, my friend.
Oh my God.
Yes. So it's right and left and right. And then you throw it up and you catch it with your left. I mean your right. And then your left. Sorry, I'm mirroring you. So
hang on a minute.
from the top, 5, 6, 7, and right. And left. And right. Throw, catch, catch. Then you're moving towards your right side.
Yeah, you see.
Go left, right, left, right. And you see my right leg is popping. So you go ba,
So first of all,
and then
so first of all, I mean, when the dog gave up hope, I gave up hope. Okay, that's when I kind of... What is the dog's name? First?
Miles.
Miles. Good. All right, so
I love how you just like trying to figure out, do we go left here?
Also because I was mirroring it. I was trying to be fancy. I was like, okay.
Well, look, it's going to get a little bit harder because we're going to ask you to try and teach us this dance in person right now.
Okay.
And G and I are dying to try.
Yeah.
Try and figure it out.
Open-minded, we'll do it. No, it looks cool. I think anyone can do this.
I agree.
And have a lot of fun trying at least.
Yes.
That's the most important thing. So let's get up on our feet.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
So we're going to face the same direction as you, just so that you don't get completely confused.
Yeah, that's actually the best idea.
And we move into the 5th dimension. Okay, so where do we start? Go.
Okay, so you start on your right leg and you push it down, right arm and right
Push
leg.
it down.
Great start, guys.
Nice.
Very nice.
Right.
Very nice form. Then back together. Then
Yeah, I
left
was
side,
committed to
same
the first
move.
one.
And with that, do a little bit of a chest compression. Hip hop. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
don't laugh.
Got some swag on you, man.
Okay, so let's do that from the top. So 5, 6, 7, 8, and right. And left. Then you do one more on the right and you stop there. Hey. And then you throw it up and you catch it with your right leg and right arm. So they like jolt.
What did you do with the leg there?
So I jolted my knee and with that, oh yeah, but you catch it with a fist.
Oh, like a...
Grape. Okay, and then the other side, same thing. Yeah. Okay, let's start from the top. 5, 6, 7, and 8, and right. And left, and right. Throw
it up.
Catch, and catch. So, yes, so they're after each other. Catch and catch. So now you're facing the diagonal, and you lean back slightly. And as you lean back, you go left shoulder, left elbow. Sorry, I confused.
Which one again?
The arm, body part. Left, right, left, right. And as you do that, just a little bit of arm-leg coordination. You jolt your right leg with each 2, 3, 4.
Boom. Okay.
Graham, you're amazing. Please, give yourself some credit.
He's been practicing. Okay.
Let's start from the top.
One has to do
5,
these
6,
things.
and 7, and 8, and right, and left, and right. Throw, catch, back, 2, 3, and 4. And then on the 5th one, you transfer your weight to your left. A little bit of a boom, and then behind, side, and face the front.
I love it.
That's the whole thing, and then you just do it the other side.
And repeat. I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
We're going to practice a little bit.
Yeah,
right now, though, we need you to do what you came here to do, which
Okay.
is not teach us how to dance. It's to go and
You can
perform.
really dance.
Go and do it.
Take your bake.
Wow. No, you're going to be amazing. Go and enjoy it. And to your wonderful crew, the family that's come with you, hopefully they will enjoy this moment just as much as we are. We're so proud of you, girl.
Thanks, guys.
We love you
can
so
join
much.
us if you want.
We'll have rehearsals, then we'll see.
Yeah.
Go and enjoy, girl. Go and enjoy.
I'm so glad I'm not part of that TikTok, but we have Jordan in studio and she's here for her first performance on your Feel Good Breakfast show. And this is her performance called Where You Go. Jordan, you and your crew, take it away.
So long, I spent many years living like a ghost. So long, I let pain teach me on the low. I just grew accustomed to the highlights, putting on the show. I just grew accustomed to the limelight, so I was on the road. My demons, I was keeping them close, falling into pieces as I reached for my goals. I didn't know that there was freedom from it all, I just needed to know. Doesn't matter where you've been, only matter where you go. Where you go, only matter where you go. Where you go, only matter where you go. Where you go, only matter where you go. Woo! Hey, come on now. So long I've been losing my mind, but I'd hide it so no one would know. Suppressing my feelings and dying inside alone. Scared to be loved, so I'd run 'cause I've been here before. So long, I let pain teach me on the low. The freedom I was seeking was close. Picking up the pieces as you restored my soul. Now I'm walking in healing, I just had to know. Doesn't matter where you've been, only matter where you go. Where you go, only matter where you go. Where you go, only matter where you go. Only matter where you go. Only matter where you go. Woo! Hey! I've seen the right light, it's not about me being in the limelight. I've seen the bright light, knowing every day I'm becoming like Christ. I've seen the right light, I've seen the light, like Christ. I'm not who I was and I'm not who I'll be. I'm walking on the road to my destiny. I'm not who I was and I'm not who I'll be. I'm walking on the road to that destiny. I'm not who I was and I'm not who I'll be. I'm walking on my road to that destiny. I'm not who I was and I'm not who I'll be. I'm walking on the road to that destiny. Hey, come on, come on, come on, come on. Where you go, where you go. It only matter where you go.
Jordan on your Feel Good Breakfast show. What an incredible performance. You make it look so easy because to be able to dance like that, sing, remember your coordination, remember your words, it takes special skills. And I love the t-shirts. Let's do this thing. So there we go. Stick around. Her debut single's coming up. Streams in the Desert. You do not want to miss out on that. We still have that coming your way.
Stand stand a chance of winning 10,000 Rand with Play.coza when you watch Tropica Island of Treasure. Simply SMS PLAY to 41191 or scan this QR code and follow the steps to enter. You could be winning your own treasure of 10,000 Rand. T's and C's apply and can be found on Play.coza. Let's play with Play.coza.
Join Mzansi's entertainment hub, the SABC, as they expand the industry through partnering with the Central University of Technology.
My name is Matata Mtakwe. The SABC is a national public broadcaster that functions and works for the nation in fulfilling its mandate.
It's about creating awareness of our brand, providing good content, and it's about encouraging participation.
Catch more highlights of this perfect pairing only on Expresso weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on S3.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, welcome back, Mzansi, you beautiful souls. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We are opening up, and we were just talking about the last time you and I have had some time off, like a proper break. Eh? When last?
It's been a while. It's been a while. But you know what? Just a few days ago, Carl Wasty told us that he needed a day off for personal reasons.
Okay.
But we have some footage on hand that shows that Wasty actually went all the way to Stellenbosch to enjoy a lavish Wineland experience.
Must be nice. Let's find out some more.
Let's take a look.
You haven't experienced the Stellenbosch wine route until you visited Lanzarote Wine Estate. Now, this has been around since 1692. It's also award-winning, but it's one of the oldest heritage farms in the Western Cape. Also, this is the birthplace of the world's first bottled pinotage. Now, I cannot wait to explore because there are so many things on offer over here, so all I can ask you is to follow me. The best part of visiting the Winelands is that you're always guaranteed an exceptional food experience, like this afternoon tea, equipped with baked treats and cakes a lot fresher than my corner shop. I love it. Why is my pinky up? Mona?
Good morning, sir.
No, I can't be sir, because you are a queen of Lanzarote. I've heard that you, before I pay, have been here for 44 years. I would just love to ask you, what is it about this place that made you stay for so long?
I like the environment.
Yes.
And I like to work with the guests. I'm a waitress. Before I was a cleaner.
And you know what you said right now, 44 years, I believe that your time here is what they call priceless. However, we have bills to pay. May I pay? All right, let me just do this very quickly. Thank you very much. And yes, I've already added your tip because you're going to get a big one. Thank you.
Dankie meneer, baie dankie. Gaan jullie dag verder saam met ons?
Baie dankie,
Dankie.
Mona. Marie, as a partner on the MasterCard travel campaign, I am so excited to know about some of the benefits that MasterCard cardholders get to enjoy.
From stays in luxury villas, ice cream and wine pairings, meals out, wine tastings. It is such a wide variety of offerings that one really has to go to the priceless.com website to see what there is. But really something for everything, covering great lifestyle aspects. And you just keep on coming back here to experience more.
I can feel that. You said ice cream and wine pairing, hardy-dars in the background, smell of beautiful grass and all the vineyards. It is just an experience of note that everybody should enjoy. Something that we've all endured is 2 years of a pandemic, tourism dropping significantly, and I'd love to ask you about how having a partner like MasterCard has enabled you to get out of that and help you recover.
A partnership with MasterCard is really invaluable, priceless really. It is heartwarming when a brand invests in our dreams and passions. MasterCard partnership brought a new visibility to the Winelands. They were encouraging people to travel here, to experience the Winelands, to taste the wine, to stay here and to play here. That is something that I can't thank them enough for.
I love that. And long shall the success continue between you and MasterCard. It's going to be beautiful. But you know, this is the Winelands, okay? So it's wine and lands. I've seen the lands.
Absolutely.
You know what I haven't seen? The wine.
Wine. Let's go.
Let's go. Fundiswa.
Hi, Carl.
High five. Sorry to bother.
It's not a problem.
I'm looking for some recommendations. I mean, I can't be at a wine farm of this beautiful heritage and not get a beautiful red or something. Fundiswa, I've got my eye on this one over here. Can I have this one?
Ooh.
Yes.
So unfortunately, that one is not available. That is one of 3 bottles left of the very original 1959 bottle of Pinot Noir.
Oh, that's great. Do you need a bag or is that?
Unfortunately, Carl, but I do have other beautiful wines on offer for you. Would you like to have a look?
Yes, please. Talk to me.
So I've got the Mrs. English Chardonnay if you're really into white wines, or if you're specifically looking for red, we really specialize on Pinot Noir. So I've got the Pioneer Pinot Noir 2016. We also make a beautiful Bordeaux-style blend. It is currently a 2018 vintage.
Wowza. And what about on this side over here? Because these 2 bottles look quite alike.
Definitely. So that is a commemoration of the very first bottle of Pinot Noir that was produced. So that bottle of wine is made from the very same vineyard that we made the very first bottle.
So this one is the one.
That is definitely the one.
This is the one.
That is the one.
Don't worry about a glass.
No problem.
I'll take
get
her.
a bag. I'll
That's
get
fine.
a bag.
Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure.
I appreciate it. It's sleeping. Thank you.
It's a pleasure, Carl.
Shh. If you're after exceptional experiences, world-class wines, and of course, beautiful views, then this is where you want to be for your next weekend getaway, or maybe even staycation, or maybe just a little bit of you time. Why not? Curated and priceless experiences await any MasterCard card holder in the Cape Wine Route. So don't wait any longer. Come through.
Did he bring you any gifts when he took a personal day?
Actually, now that I think about it, I got nothing. And you?
No. Must be nice to take personal days like that.
I think I should get into this personal affair, these personal day-taking things that are happening right now. But it definitely looked like an absolute blast. And I mean, going out to that spot made Carl Wasty look even better, had that villain look on. Absolutely loved it. I think I'm going to start swiping and get my adventure on too. And you definitely need to do the same thing.
Well, now that we know what Mr. Wasty gets off to on his personal days, All good, my brother. You go and savor it. And I'm going to say the same thing to you guys at home right now. She is ours. I feel like we birthed her in this space. We've taken complete ownership. I'm talking about this incredible performing artist stood next to me right now, Jordan. She is about to make her mark on the world with her brand new, original debut single called Streams in the Desert.
Won't you pour it out? Amanzi ageleza. Won't you pour it out? Amanzi apilayo. I've been walking in this desert. It's been so long and I hate this. Where's the blessing that you promised? And all the grace and joy and goodness. Disappointments, disappointments. All I see is disappointment. I'm on my knees but I'm voiceless. Can you hear me crying, Jesus? Hey! Amanzi ageleza, amanzi ageleza. Won't you you're giving me screams in the desert. You're giving me hope when I'm hopeless. Taking my weary legs and making them run again. When everything's dry and it's barren, you pour your spirit like the Jordan, bringing you life and joy. All that you touch will grow. When I'm lonely, when I'm hurting, when I'm angry and I can't sing, then you reach down and you hold me like a baby in your safety. There's a place where I can go to, an oasis, just me and you, where we whisper and commune, where you love me like only you can do. Hey, can do, like only you can do, like only you can do. Like only you, like only you, like only 1, 2, 3. Won't you pour it out? Amanzi ageleza. Won't you pour it out? Amanzi ageleza. You're giving me screams in the desert. You're giving me hope when I'm hopeless. Taking my weary legs and making them run again. When everything's dry and it's barren, you pour your spirit like the Jordan, bringing you life and hey, all that you touch will grow. Where you go, I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna follow you through the wilderness.
And how did it go?
As you
Was it right? Oh. Well done, guys. Thank you so much. Just watching your faces throughout that, I'd love to know what you were thinking about. First of all, how did that feel?
It felt amazing, exhilarating. It feels like home.
It was like, I know you got the dance moves locked down and everything, but I was just thinking, you know what else lives in a desert? Okay,
What?
is the meerkat. Just saying. Okay, we can just talk about it. I just want to put it out there. I'm just putting it out there. This
Yeah.
is available for download right now. Where can
it's
people get it?
available everywhere where you find music, wherever you stream music. You just have to go to the link in my bio at Jordan Creates, and it's all there. You can access it, dance to it in your own home.
And a whole lot of other stuff, and she even gives you the moves to dance
Oh, yeah.
to it at home.
Totally.
And we're going to give it a bash a little bit later. One more performance coming from this incredible starlet and her amazing little fam, her team. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Go and show us some love and go and download that song right now.
Dad, I hope you're ready before I go. Guys! Okay, guys, come on, come on.
Yolo mntanam. Ebethuna.
We connect all of Mzansi so that everyone can be more of what they're made of. Live your monate.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Take a gander at my beans. Is that not the most glorious dinner beans you've ever seen in your life? Yes, tonight on Colour Your Plate with Koo at 7 p.m. on SABC2. It gets real. This week, the top 6 contestants must now really impress the toughest critics of all. Dun, dun, dun. The kid lumps. It's going to be crazy with elimination on the cards as well. Just to intensify things, they must prepare a colourful, well-balanced midweek meal for healthy growing kids that the kids are actually going to eat. And joining the panel as guest judge is radio personality and former Miss South Africa, Liesel Laurie Ntombeni. She's absolutely amazing, and I think she's going to be quite a harsh critic as well. So don't miss tonight at 7 p.m. for all the inspiration you need, plus to see who is going to make it through to the next round of the competition. Let's inspire you a little more. Take a look at this.
This Tuesday evening at 7 on Colour Your Plate with Koo, the top 6 face their toughest critics yet.
Today you'll be cooking for kids.
But they'll also have to impress this week's guest judge, a renowned media personality and former Miss SA.
Oh my
my gosh, make me proud, guys. Color those plates. I'm gonna take this.
You're gonna take it, okay.
What kid doesn't like peanut butter?
That's Color Your Plate with Koo. Tuesday evenings at 7, only on SABC2.
Well, we love food here on your Feel Good Breakfast show, and especially when it comes to last-minute entertaining, it doesn't have to be stressful. We're about to show you how to turn a tub of hummus into a delightful health, in fact, inspired appetizer, and your guests will love it. And this is all thanks to the elite taste, elite quality, and elite texture of Clover Elite cheese. Now, Ryle, we're about to make a serving platter that is like no other.
It is like no other.
Taking it that next step.
It is, and the ingredients are so fresh. I heard you just craving and going crazy about it, and I am too, because one of the heroes as well is also chickpeas, which is such a complete bean. It's a meat-free alternative. It's got a great source of carbs, of fat, and of protein as well. So we're going to go ahead and get our cooking on with this. So starting off with some oil. I've got the pan on hot already. So we're kind of just going to essentially I wouldn't say roast these up, but kind of get a bit of a roasting on these, because it's just going to absorb some of that flavor and really combine so nicely with the rest of this dish. So oil's in the pan. We're going to start off by actually putting some of our spice into the pan first. So we're not going to start with the chickpeas, but instead I've got this, I think that's paprika actually.
Paprika,
so
yum.
in there.
So while you're doing that, while you're busy getting our chickpeas roasted and all flavored up, I'm going to start off by creaming our feta. Now, we are using our Clover Elite cheese, which is perfectly crafted due to the 5-step crafting process to bring you cheese that is superior in quality, taste, and texture. I'm using 2 of our Clover Elite feta. Now, you can use the plain, the herb, or even the black pepper flavor of the Clover Elite feta cheeses in this recipe. We've gone for plain. I'm also going to add some plain cream cheese to this recipe, a little bit of lemon zest and some milk just to loosen it up.
Looks good, and it's looking even better on my side too. I've just put my chickpeas into the pan. You can hear it sizzling up, getting all that flavor absorbed as well. So as I mentioned earlier, I put salt and pepper, oil, and some of the paprika in first, and then I put the chickpeas in afterwards once the pan was nice and hot. And you don't really want to go too crazy on this, but you kind of just want to end up with a nice sort of I wouldn't say charred, but somewhat of a roasted chickpea. And yeah, that'll take you to the next step. How's it looking on your side?
I'm going to make some noise. I'm going to make some noise. Like that. And I have our blitzed feta.
Nice. Simple. This is actually not a hard recipe at all.
No, not
Especially
at
when you
all.
look at all these steps and you look at the ingredients and the end product, you're like, wow, how are we going to put this all together? But it is so simple. I'm already pretty much done on my chickpeas over here.
So while you're there, I'm going to start off by the serving. Now, you can really just do a little bit of a dollop and a spread, you know, like they do on all the cooking
so
shows.
it's like almost like layers. So step 1, layering with the hummus.
Oh, and hummus is incredible. I mean, you can be bougie and go ahead and do your own hummus.
You can, but that's a lot of effort.
It's a lot of effort, especially if it's unwanted, or not unwanted, unexpected guests.
Unexpected guests that often in these seasonal times, especially with summer around, phone you last minute. Hey, what you up to?
It happens.
Just chilling. Okay, I'm outside. Okay.
I'm not home.
Don't worry, Mzansi. Head over to expresso.com, find this recipe, and you won't have to stress any longer because it's that easy to make. I've just finished my chickpeas. As you can see, Zoe's just kind of styling the dish and putting all the beautiful layers on.
But you know what? You play around with these beautiful colors and you can't go wrong.
No, you definitely can't go wrong. And this is the part where you can kind of get creative, I'd imagine. Go rustic with your design and your styling when it comes to the food here.
Use your hands if it's clean.
And also, if there's something you don't like in this, then don't add it in. Use your own preferences and use your own layers if you like, and maybe even add some of your favorites that you don't see on this dish. I don't know what I would actually add to this because it already looks pretty complete.
It
but
is looking beautiful.
I would go crazy and maybe just add like a little bit of aubergine into this. I think that would just complete it.
Purple colors, and of course you're finishing up our roasted chickpeas.
Yes.
We've got some here that is done.
Okay, cool. So you don't even need mine. I'll just keep this for the crew then. I know
We'll
they'll love
keep
it.
that for later. Add some olives. Of course, you did season your chickpeas, right?
Yes, so I seasoned it, and again, it was quite important to note that I didn't put the chickpeas in first. I actually first seasoned the pan and the oil with paprika and some salt and pepper, and then thereafter put the chickpeas in. And I think the chickpeas have already, as I'm smelling, absorbed all that flavor, so you don't need to season them much after that. But you can, however, add this beautiful hero ingredient that you're about to do right now.
Which is our creamed feta. I'm actually going to use the spoon again, and you can simply just finish it off by adding little dollops like that.
Look at us in the kitchen doing things.
This is my kind of food. Like, this is me in seventh heaven.
Oh, yeah?
Like,
what is it? The
give me
freshness,
hummus.
the healthiness? Is it the
I think I should have been Greek somewhere. Like, I need more Mediterranean cuisine in my life, but this is incredible.
I can just picture you, Zoe, chowing on this down on a Greek island somewhere, got the bikini in the sun on, full tilt, and this is exactly the experience that you're going to get with it. What's that, by the way?
This is our sumac spice that we're just going to do a teeny tiny little drizzle over.
Sumac. You don't use this too often in the kitchen, but it definitely can go well with this recipe. Voila!
You go, and you can just put that out. I mean, obviously, put some spoons out, some plates for your guests, maybe some crackers or some. I mean, if you really want to mix the cultures here, put some taco chips.
Oh yeah, why not?
Some tortillas.
While we're at it, go crazy. And I think that's the benefit of it, because I think with a dish like this, you're having conversation, you're sharing your memories, and everybody's getting involved, and it's this sort of like communal feel. And this is exactly what you want with all your meals. So of course, like so, we set it over to Expresso.com, as simple as two people coming together and taking 5 minutes to put a recipe together, and look at that magic.
There we go. Our loaded hummus with some whipped feta. This recipe is available on our website, expressoshow.com.
Clover cheese is for those who love life, where everything falls into place and melts away our cares, adding joy and stretching our imagination. Clover cheese, perfectly crafted.
Made with love by Clover.
You too can win big with Tropica. Buy a Tropica promo pack, follow the details, enter, and stand a chance to win your share of thousands of smooth prizes, such as airtime, data, AEG fridges, Island Tribe hampers, Rest Assured beds, plus limited edition Tropica bags, towels, tents, cooler bags, and cushions. The more Tropica you buy, the more chances you stand to win. Tropica, nothing smoother.
Switch to Red, travel the world, and connect anywhere with flight discounts and international roaming. Get the new Samsung Z Flip 4 on a 600-minute Red Cormo voice plan for 1,339 Rand per month. You save 2,400 Rand and get a free hotel voucher. Plus, trade in and save up to 10,000 Rand with Vodacom, SA's leading network. Available in-store or online. Further together. Vodacom.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. Thank you so much for joining us as this inspirational and albeit heartbreaking show comes to a very emotional and celebratory close. And this, I'm going to dedicate it to everyone who has joined us this morning in our journey through cancer, through joining those that are battling cancer, but of course showing solidarity to the friends and family who are also on that journey as well. We are part of the same family and we are here for you. And we're going to keep this conversation going for as long as we can. Performing a beautiful track alongside Darren Doman on the strings. Please give it up one last time for the gorgeous, we are so proud of her, Jordan, performing Beyond B by Madison Ryan Ward. Take it away.
I can't explain the way an eagle flies, where stars align a perfect sky. Oh my, it's beyond me. Never understood the face of time, how strong it is when love is blind. Oh, It's beyond me. It's beyond, 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 beyond me. It's beyond, 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 beyond me. I always wonder what comes after life. Does the body die with the soul that will stay alive? Oh my, it's beyond me. And I wonder if I'll ever find the answers to what's on my mind. Oh my, it's beyond me. It's beyond, 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 beyond me. Yeah. It's beyond, 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 beyond me. Maybe I'll never know, but I gotta let it go, 'cause it's out of my control. Take me on this endless road, show me what the future holds. Is it above the sky or down below? Or is the answer in my soul? Beyond me. Yeah. It's beyond, 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 beyond me. It's beyond, 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 beyond me. It's beyond, 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 beyond me. Yeah. Maybe I'll never know, but I gotta let it go, 'cause it's out of my control. Take me on this endless road, show me what the future.
This spring, here's to Mother Nature and all the other mums who bring wonders into our world. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.